Hey, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City and Beat Source. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We got DJ Never here.
Yo, what up?
We got Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
And we got a special guest. She's in town. Straight from Long Beach, the queen of Long Beach in the building.
Oh my God. What's up, y'all?
one of our favorite people, our favorite DJs. We got Bella FIASCO. What's good?
What's good, guys? I always thought that intro was like you guys just added the same intro in to like every episode.
No, he's that good.
I didn't know that shit was live.
It's always live.
Yeah.
Oh, the what's good, what's good, what's good.
Yeah.
No,
It's exact same intro every time.
You thought it was like something like a sitcom intro that just came on.
I thought it was just like you guys. It's a drop, and you guys just like press that shit every intro.
Nah. So how you been?
I'm good.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. We did one of these few years ago.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was saying, because he asked me if I was nervous, and I was like, this is actually a lot better than how I felt last time, because I didn't know it. I only know you, right?
I think so, yeah.
So I walked in and I didn't really know any of you guys, and I was like, man, what the fuck are they going to talk to me about?
Yeah.
So this is, I'm not as nervous as I was last time.
That was when did we first record with you? How long ago?
2019.
19.
Damn, that was
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Like
a lot
4
has
years
changed
ago?
since there.
4 years ago.
Wow.
That's
Crazy.
A lot has changed.
Now she wants to now you want to like move to New York now, right? Or you want to just
she wants to be in New York.
I definitely want to be bi-coastal. I feel like, but I wouldn't live out there. Like, I'm not a walker. I'm not like a.
What do you mean you're not a walker?
I don't like to walk. I don't like to go up the stairs. And the standard of living out there, like.
You don't like the subways?
No.
What do you like about it?
But I will be bi-coastal. I love everything else about it except for that. Like, I don't even mind how dirty and stinky it is out there. Like, I'll compromise for that shit.
I can't do that shit.
I'll compromise for that shit.
So what is it that you love about New York?
I just love the culture. Like, I know it's such a cliche answer, but I love the culture. Like, it's just so rich in culture.
Well, okay, when you was in New York, did you go outside of Manhattan?
Yeah. Well, my sister lives in Brooklyn. She lives in Bushwick. So, like, we would go anywhere and everywhere. But for the most part, I do stay out there. But, like, I guess nightlife wise, I'm usually just in that area, like what you just mentioned. But
maybe
I love it out there.
just the nightlife is refreshing to you.
That too. It's obviously at the top of the list.
Compared to Cali. Because you've been in Cali nightlife for what, like over 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and just like fashion and like just like people's like attitudes and personalities.
Yeah, you tweeted that you want to like go to New York. You want to be in New York more. You were there for New York Fashion Week.
Yeah. Well, now that my sister moved out there, I'm definitely going to be out there more often. Like eventually I want to be bi-coastal, but I just don't think there's like work for me out there. Like I haven't networked enough to like.
Once again, you got to talk to Marco.
Yeah, call Marco Penta, the mayor of New York.
Too.
At 3-day weekend.
Also, I mean, y'all can agree, like, there's not really room for like California DJs out in New York. No, like y'all got the best DJs. Like you don't need us.
Hey, yo,
you know?
let's give him a clap over there.
You like how I said y'all? Like you're still out there.
Yeah, no, but like what you said?
You like how I say y'all? Like you guys are still out there.
I mean, we are still.
Because you guys, I mean, you guys just will never consider yourselves like West Coast DJs, even if you've already been here for like fucking 30 years. You guys are still gonna say.
I will always consider myself an East Coast DJ.
I know, I understand.
Bring it down.
Yeah, even if you like moved to New York and you stayed there for 15 years, you still be a Cali girl at heart.
True, I understand. Yeah. I understand. But like now, I feel like you guys are like in between now. Like you've been out here for so long, like you will never consider yourself like, you know. I
mean, what is a Vegas DJ? What is the Vegas culture? Like you can't really say like, well, we Vegas motherfuckers now. It makes no sense.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
I was just asking, me and E-Rock were just talking about this. I was like, are Vegas DJs considered West Coast DJs?
Yeah, that's a quick.
Yeah.
They're
they really?
They're a combination of a bunch of things, but I would consider them. Yeah,
I would consider it West Coast.
I don't consider that.
I consider.
So if how about this? Aside from being a DJ, like if you're
Las
a
Vegas
Vegas
is West
local,
Coast. It's West Coast.
Technically, it is. But if you're a Vegas local and like you go to like New York or some shit, like you'll tell them, oh, I'm from the West
Vegas.
Coast.
No, that's it.
You got to say it from Vegas. You can't say it from the West Coast. This is just my opinion.
If you were born and raised here, Crooked, in Vegas, when you go to New York, do you say I'm from the West Coast or do you say I'm from Vegas?
Say, why is that like a disrespect to Cali and the West Coast? If you're from Vegas?
I think Vegas people are prideful to not be West Coast.
So the West Coast is what, like just fucking
the coast.
Seattle,
just California, just the
Seattle,
coast.
Portland, Oregon, right? All that shit, Cali, right?
Yeah.
And then I feel like Las Vegas is a part
Do you
of that.
consider Arizona?
There's
the
so
West
many
Coast?
Bay Area.
I consider Arizona West Coast.
I don't know.
Arizona
right?
Southwest. Arizona.
Bro,
Southwest.
we're not
It's
that
west, though.
far
It's
off.
west.
We're right above them.
It's the beginning of Southwest to me.
I think Vegas
Arizona.
is more
When you start,
Southwest.
I don't know.
Bro, we're not that far from the Arizona border from here. We're like 30 minutes from the Arizona border. So that's what I'm saying.
I know it's just the way it is. I feel
It's
like
kinda-
there's
how you
people
look
that
at it.
will like disagree, but
Yeah, if you're from LA or Cali or whatever, we say we're from the West Coast, right? And if somebody from Vegas says that they're from the West Coast,
I'll be like,
do we not like say no, not really?
Even the people that are from the IE and Riverside, they're like, oh, I'm from LA. I'm like, no, you're not.
But if you are outside of California and someone asks you like
It's
where
easier.
in California you're from and you're in LA County, you do got to say you're from. Because
That's
they
not-
don't know any of those fucking cities. Like if I went to New York and I said I was from like Cerritos, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?" So
That's
you
still
gotta
LA
say you're
County,
from LA.
though.
It
That's
is LA
LA County.
Exactly.
You can't compare Cerritos to San Bernardino.
Let's not even get to talk about regional
even know what
like,
Cerritos is.
regions and shit. Yeah, no, dude.
you think
go
that's
to-
like a Dorito flavor, right?
You know, right?
I got that new Doritos.
Yo, I swear to God, I could literally,
That Cerrito's really good.
I could be just in downtown LA, and if someone asks where I'm from now, I say Cerritos, and they have no idea where Cerritos is.
It's right in the middle. It's very.
It's so crazy. Like people that live in like middle LA just have no idea what's going on outside of like their bubble.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
No fucking clue.
Well, you mentioned that you were saying like LA DJs have no business being in New York DJing because the DJs are so good there. But I honestly, I disagree because I think what you're saying is happening in every city.
Okay.
I think
As far as-
I think a New York or LA DJ in Texas almost has no reason being there either because the Texas DJs know what the fuck they're doing in Texas.
Yeah, I think.
And Florida, Chicago, Chicago. I think things
Yeah,
are
but-
more regional now.
I feel like these places they book a lot of like out of town DJs and it still
I think
feels
they
a little
do, but
more
I think
special.
I think it's a handful of DJs that know how to navigate in different cities. And
Right, every city has that.
and they know how to expect what to play in certain cities. They do
Right.
the research and they have the experience. Yeah,
I mean,
but you're right. There's two cities that's the hardest for both coasts to DJ. in.
Exactly.
So, but like a New York DJ in Cali has
Hard
to
time.
know what to play too. What like most of the time, New York DJs in Cali will bomb, and Cali DJs in New York will bomb. So
I think
it's
more
hard to
so.
navigate.
I actually think more so the other.
What do you mean?
Cali DJs in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remember the first time I played in the big club in New York, I was like, I feel like I'm doing okay, but I'm not like. It's still not like at its full like potential,
What did
you
that
know.
tell you,
And I was
Bridget?
trying a lot, I was like moving back and forth, like bouncing between genres, and I was just like. For some reason, I just like. I mean, everybody around me was like, "Yeah, you're doing good." But like to my
You
standard,
didn't feel like you were doing good.
yeah, to my standard, I was just like, I'm not sure if I'm doing good. But what I mean by like New York DJs just like are not as welcoming with like DJs from California. It's just like
So much pride.
I'm gonna try and say this without like coming off wrong, but like you guys. I don't even want to say you guys because you guys are out here now. You guys are from the West Coast now. New York DJs just have like this like certain like
Pride?
I guess like swagger and attitude and like
Like wall?
something like
I don't think Neville or Crooked are like that. I think they're very welcoming.
no, not as far as personality. I guess as far as like your just like your DJ attitude. You know what I mean? Like they're just not as welcoming because again, like I said, like the best DJs come out of the East Coast. Or actually, no, that's subjective because I would say it's the Bay Area, but like just DJs in New York are fucking solid.
Okay, and what way do you think
Solid.
the Bay Area are better than New York DJs?
I mean, they're just doing a lot more turntablism.
They're
There's
more
a lot
technical?
more technical shit.
A lot of
definitely.
creative, just like the most creative DJs I know are like bred from the Bay. So
I think there's elements to every
I think, yeah.
every like city.
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
of course.
Like I love listening to a Bay Area set, but like it can be too much as well.
Yeah. Too
Yeah.
much
And
tone
I-
play.
even now, when I listen to a New York set, it can be a little too much sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting when you say there's no place for an LA DJ in New York. I just think you need to just go out there more and just. I remember talking to DJs that would just move to New York and they're like, I'm not getting booked. I'm like, well, are you really like just deep diving in
Right.
every aspect of like nightlife culture there? Because there's just like deeper and deeper genres.
Yeah, there's so
It's
many
like
different pockets.
You
in
have
New
to
York.
know dance hall, but you got to know the 90s dance hall, 2000s dance hall.
Yeah.
And then you got to know a little bit of soca. You got to know Afro beats
Right,
on a piano. You got to know pop music from the 80s, classics, R&B.
Yeah.
There's just all this layers. And so now a New York set is a compilation of all of these things.
Yeah. We talked about this
Right.
before we started recording. Yeah.
Well,
that's what I love about New York.
You were agreeing
most.
with me to a certain degree where you were saying that it's all about this unpredictability, right?
Yeah.
Where there's just the more cheesier you go, the more left and the more hood,
Yeah.
right? You go.
Basically,
you know?
all the shit you can't get away with in LA, like it works so well in a
Mm-hmm.
room in New York. And I didn't figure that out till like maybe my third time playing in New York within like the last like 3 years. I was like, it's like shifting. I mean, it's shifting everywhere else, but in LA, I feel like we're still a little more like, I guess like constricted, you know, when it comes to like genres in music, because like, again, like we were talking about like parties that are like really curated and specific, right? Like I would say like when I do 444, it's always been like same 4 genres that we're like bouncing around. And I tell the DJs all the time, like you can bounce around these 4 genres, but like please play around with it. But like I'm gonna tell you what works the most. It's always gonna be R&B and sing-alongs. And like you can get into like the, you know, all the ignorant shit like here and there, but like the heart of like your set has to be R&B and sing-alongs. And when I say sing-alongs, it doesn't have to be R&B. The sing-alongs could be like 70s classics and shit like that, and people just fucking go crazy. But like curated parties in LA, like you have to play exactly what the people are expecting when they go. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because in New York, like everywhere I go, it's just so unpredictable. Like the sets it could be like open format, but it's still like so like you're not going to see that shit coming. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's still a lot more like it's just way more open. Like open format in New York is not the same open format in LA. Open format in LA is like if somebody told you play open format, it's still going to be hip hop, R&B, classics, a little bit of house, and a little bit of house would be like maybe like 2 EDM bangers and like, you know what I mean?
Do you feel like you can't do that shit in the West Coast or in LA, to be specific, because everyone's too cool to kind of be liking the corny or the left shit?
I guess so. Again, I guess
Is it not cool enough for your Instagram story and shit like that? You know what I mean?
I guess.
I have a very loose theory on it.
Let's go.
I think,
All right, let's hear it.
I think the most original time for LA nightlife was probably around like what was the AM period?
Banana Split.
Yeah, was probably around
05 to like 08.
Well, like was around Banana Split,
Yeah.
and then to me it was when like LA hip hop was emerging in the 2010s. I
Oh,
thought
the
that was
Mustard
the
era.
best time. I think every other period in LA nightlife is copying something else.
Okay, so you're saying
It's just like they're taking from something else that's really dope or trendy, and this is what Hollywood is good at. Hollywood and LA is really good at this.
Hey, easy.
Even but like but they're really good at this because it's a city literally built on it. To me, in my opinion, so they're really good at taking something like catchy or trendy and exploiting the shit out of it.
well, I
And like
was
marketing it and promoting it, and just so it could be any aspect from like being an influencer or making R&B parties or doing this. They'll take it and they'll package it and they'll really exploit it to like till it's like till it's dead and dry.
I think
You know what
that's
I mean?
I think that's more Hollywood than LA, because
No, for sure.
these 2 time
That's why I
periods,
said Hollywood.
You said Hollywood and LA. That's why I got on your ass.
Yeah.
Because these 2 time periods, you're talking about 05 to like 08, and then 2011 to like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
That was LA being LA.
Yeah, but that was
Well,
LA
how
being
about
LA.
parties like the Do Over? What would you consider that?
That's the time frame he's talking about.
Yeah, that was to me like that was a new day party of throwbacks and stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
But that party also wouldn't exist if there wasn't the Rub, which
All right,
was like
yeah,
the
you're
Rub.
right, yeah.
To me, the Rub was like one of the first throwback parties in Brooklyn. Everyone was
That's
trooping
true.
out there.
Yeah.
But they brought the daytime element to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
weather in LA is like unbelievable.
Yeah.
You
Impeccable,
can't,
yeah.
you know, it's like the perfect backdrop and the
Yeah.
perfect energy, which is why, like, to me, like day parties are really thriving the most to me in Cali
In
because of the
LA.
weather.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
'cause it's
definitely.
insane.
Yeah.
But no, I think I was talking about like I was looking at like all of these R&B parties. Like
Oh,
in
there's
Cali,
so
there's so many.
many in LA.
There's
Do you
so many
consider
like
445?
throwback. There's so many throwback, and there's so many R&B parties. Almost to
Yeah.
what I would say like LA is the capital of that shit.
Right now.
Yeah.
Do you consider 444 an R&B party?
No, not at all.
What do you consider it?
It's so vague to say this, but like what I just said, I would consider it the LA format, which is what the formula I just told you guys, like hip hop, R&B, classics, a little bit of house here and there, and pop. Like that's the LA format in my opinion. Unless you go to a strictly R&B party, it's just R&B. But again, even the R&B parties, like shout out to Cuffing Season. Cuffing Season is an R&B party, but they do turn the fuck up.
Yeah, it's really
you know
ratchet.
what I mean? Like it's really fucking ratchet. And then like you sprinkle in the ratchet shit, the ignorant shit here and there. And then for the most part, it's like R&B. But again, I feel like that's just LA. Like all the R&B parties that I've been to in LA have not been strictly R&B.
I thought it was interesting during New York Fashion Week. There was all these LA parties invading New York.
Oh shit.
Yeah. There
Oh
was,
yeah, I went to Sadiq.
Yeah, there was Sadiq.
Yeah.
There was Donovan Jard, and then Cuffin' Season was in there. You actually were DJing Cuffin' Season.
Yeah.
With who else was spinning there? I saw you. Eccentric was hanging out. And
Yeah,
stuff
he was
like
hanging
that.
out.
Shout to Eccentric.
Shout out to Eccentric, Kuya Eccentric, Omar Woods, Masubi. But yeah, we did it at Deluxe Flux.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But I thought that was interesting that like for the first time ever, LA parties were getting, were welcome
Yeah.
to New York for Fashion Week, which was dope.
Yeah.
It was almost like it felt like New York Fashion Week, it was finally coming back, but it was like turning into something different. Like it was turning
Just
into
parties.
Well, it's turning into Art Basel.
In a way, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
okay.
I was like, oh, okay, like they're doing like the Art Basel thing, but now they're like, and I'm like, LA motherfuckers, they're really good at exploiting this shit.
Hollywood.
And marketing and getting
I
this
understand
and getting
where you're
this,
going with this.
and getting the sponsorship dollars into New York. But I thought it was dope either way. I was like, New York Fashion Week is
Do
coming
you?
back. Yeah, I think it's dope. The West Coast and the East Coast are like kind of working together.
Yeah.
And I like seeing I like seeing an LA presence in New York.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's not like New
It's
York
not.
versus
It's not
LA,
just a Richie Akiva party in Fashion Week.
No, but I love that too.
No, I'm not saying it's not just that, but he got other choices to pick from.
No, but I love that. But I would want I only say this because I think it'll be dope if New York shit, like, whenever there's fucking the Oscars in LA or there's something popping in LA.
It would do pops in LA.
Well, New York would come and do shit in LA, and it's like hand in hand.
I mean, I think it's kind of starting with everyday people. They're
Everyday
coming to-
people have been setting up shop in LA, but they're just setting up shop. They've been like doing their crazy shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do some Oscar shit. Or anything, though.
MoMA and his team at Everyday People, Sinclair, Maine, they do a lot of fucking work to get that party going and out there.
Yeah, so much that I think they'll.
I could definitely see them doing something.
Yeah,
for the
I feel
Oscars.
like they're doing something.
No, but anyway, I thought that was dope that when you were out there for New York, because to me it was a stamp that New York Fashion Week is kind of back.
Yeah.
And New York is kind of slowly coming back.
Yeah, I mean, people were definitely out there just to party. That was just ironic. Like Cuffing Season throwing a party out there during Fashion Week was honestly just ironic. And I was just out there that weekend. That was also just like, it happened to fall on Fashion Week. But I'll tell you this much, that was my first time being in New York during Fashion Week. And I actually, aside from like the night that I played, I had a horrible experience. Right. I don't think well, for one, side note, I actually didn't start like going out, like partying and like just like going out to clubs till like after the pandemic. I would always only go if you could only get me out the house if I was like DJing, if it was like someone's special birthday or just anything specific like that. But then after the pandemic, shit changed. I was like, I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be an outside girly. So, but like that night reminded me so much of why it's so hard for me to be outside if I'm not working.
Why?
And again, it's different.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
So the night that we went out, I think we might have like bounced around between like 4 different venues because I was just like, everywhere we went, you're like getting pushed around, like you're getting elbowed, you're getting drinks spilled on. And I know it's such terrible things to complain about because if you're out, you should expect those things. Mm-hmm. But like obviously, like New York Fashion Week is like crazier. Like literally like elbow to elbow. You don't even have room to dance. Like I can't even like do a shimmy. Like it's just like way too packed everywhere. And like, and I always talk about how much I love like the culture in New York and like just like going out and feeling the energy. But like Fashion Week was different. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. Like don't think I'll be back unless I'm working.
Well, it's just that age-old thing where it's like you don't want to be in Miami during Art Basel.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of do, but you don't. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard to
It's
get
not
an
enjoyable.
Uber. It's packed everywhere.
Exactly.
Like
I
no
try
one's-
to avoid shit like that.
It's
dude.
just like the same thing happens in LA though. It's just like motherfuckers want to go out during these big nights,
But like
these
the,
Yeah.
big
like the
weekends.
BET Award weekends, nobody
Yeah.
want to go out.
But all the
Right.
locals are like, I'm not going out unless I have to work. I'm getting
Yeah,
paid.
you stay
exactly.
inside.
Or
But
the
see, I don't
incentive.
like sounding like that. I don't want to be the fucking like, you know what I mean? Like I like.
But you're
either
kind of
bitter or
new.
like-
You're kind of new to like you started like taking out of town gigs as well. You're traveling more now. You're doing more out of town gigs more and more. Like in the past year or so, right?
yeah. Like after the
because I saw you
pandemic-ish.
tweeting. You're like, oh, I'm so tired. This shit is tiring. Like traveling, and I was.
It's
just like,
tiring, but I fucking love it. I love
Yeah.
being tired.
But you were just kind of like, be nice to DJs because they're tired. And I was just
Why
like,
are you talking in that voice? That's crazy. That's your
that's a
mocking
crazy,
voice.
That's your crazy.
no, that's my Bella's tired voice.
Yo, my
You know,
voice
you
is.
have to be nice to DJs.
Oh my
They're
god!
tired,
First of all, my
you
voice is
know?
way deeper than that.
Yeah.
Do that again, but like talk in like a lower
You know,
register.
we're like tired and we're
Holy shit. Hey, I was
I was
in my
getting drinks
feelings.
spilled on me, and
You do that. I always love a good Bella's Fiasco tweet.
Oh my god! Speaking of,
you did something nasty on Twitter the other day.
holy shit!
Okay,
what the
this is
fuck did I do?
This is what I'm waiting for.
She did
Hold
something
on.
nasty. Yeah,
Hold on. Let me prepare for this shit. I'm trying to backtrack and think about like what I might have tweeted about.
Yeah, you did
Because
something nasty.
I've listen. Let me tell you, I've calmed down on Twitter
Yeah,
a lot, and actually, a lot of this has to do.
you're not
with
gonna know.
one,
You're not gonna know what I'm talking about. It's not what you think, but it was nasty. It was nasty.
Okay. Do you remember the very first time the first time I was on the pod?
Yeah.
You were talking about how like, what's up with DJs like just always being so emotional on Twitter, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn. I'm like, that's me. Like I do get emotional on Twitter sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's because because like Twitter is like my fucking like secret world. Like
Everybody follows you there.
I'm definitely I don't know. I'm definitely more me on Twitter than I am on Instagram because like,
1000%.
you know what I mean? Like, but I was like, I kind of like dialed back since, and then even like compared to fucking
Yo,
compared to how I used to be.
pandemic.
I don't know what dialing back is. but-
Pandemic time,
Dog.
Bella I would text you on the side and be like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything okay?"
So
I think Bella's very smart, and I think she knows what she's doing. Like with Twitter, she knows what she's doing. She's marketing another side of herself that seems
personality?
personal
Well,
to her following, so that they can engage and feel like they're a part.
They get to know her.
Yeah, they're
Like
seeing
they-
this
like-
other side.
like
of
they're
her.
a good friend
It's
of
almost
hers.
a little bit like
that
it's
is-
well, that's what
It's
I
like
mean by like being like an open book and being more like open about shit like that.
You work with anyone on Bella Fiasco?
Like as far as like management.
Well, when it comes to you and yourself, are you just working alone all the time?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
outside of the agency, which they handle my bookings, like
Right.
everything else that I do is completely.
But I think
me.
I think it'd be good for you to work with somebody.
I
I've
feel
told
like
you this before.
You have, and I
Yeah.
feel like the Virgo in me is just always like, no, like I have to.
I think
do
you
it
have too many
myself.
things. You're hands on with too many things, and you have to let certain things go.
I feel like I won't feel that way until there's one day where I'm literally just like, I cannot fucking do this shit alone. I mean, I've felt that way with 444 a few times, a few parties that I've done. I was like,
Yeah.
why the fuck am I doing this shit
yeah,
to
because you
myself?
do
I'm
everything
fucking
for
crazy.
that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do 444 by yourself. You don't have a team working with you with that party.
No.
You do it all.
I
Where
do
did that come
everything.
from? 444 is like your monthly party.
It's my monthly party, and it
At Lock
started.
and Key, right?
Yeah,
Lock and
it started
Key.
right out of the pandemic. Like literally,
It started on Twitch.
yeah, like literally the first week shit opened back up. I
What
was
is that
like,
shit?
I
What does
wanted to
it
throw a
mean?
party.
It's what is that?
It's angel numbers.
444.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys probably hate hearing girls talk about angel numbers. But
Shout out
like,
to my earthy girls.
But 4 is literally just my favorite number. Without getting personal, it's my favorite number. I've had a lot of like life moments that had to do with the number 4. And I guess people would call that your angel number, but whatever. 4 is my favorite number, so I was like 404. It sounds like a fucking great name for a party.
And it's a good
people
Jay-Z
see it
album.
everywhere, and people like, huh?
It's a good
It's a
Jay-Z album.
too. Yeah.
That too. But did you know that in Chinese culture, it's like the devil's number?
It's bad luck.
It's bad luck.
In Korea, it's bad luck.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought it
in
was
Korea
6666.
Yeah. Like my mom would always say like 4 is bad luck number.
Yeah, I didn't know that
So
until
like she gave me like dumplings or whatever.
She give you 5.
5.
3.
3 or 5.
Yeah, she'll never give me like 4 dumplings.
Don't leave.
I never knew that till I had like an Asian friend that was like, my mom does not want me going to your party because she just thinks like I'll get in an accident after the party or like shit like that. But I didn't know that. I feel like 444 just looks so like good on like flyers and like writing it down, and it rolls off your tongue, and it's just like very marketable. Other than the fact that it's my favorite number. But before the pandemic, I was throwing a party called Good PM, which is like good night, but I would spell it Good PM. And that ran for about like a couple of months. I was doing it with Bret Hart. Shout out to Bret Hart. And then the pandemic happened. Very short-lived. So when shit opened back up, I was like, I'm gonna start throwing parties again. And I feel like what happened during the pandemic is like people's like music palette like just like widened, and people wanted to hear the shit that we were doing on Twitch outside of Twitch. And in LA, like what we just talked about, there's not really a place for that, like in a lot of places. So I was like, I want to take what I do on Twitch outside and like kind of have the same format. And aside from that, I remember when I was like, I started doing like a couple of clubs right out the pandemic. And like, you know, the whole like Hollywood, LA, like guest list bullshit. Like there were people that couldn't get into my gigs. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I want a free party. I want open guest lists. Like anybody can come, like no judgment, no door bullshit, which is a very LA thing. Like I just want to throw a party. Everybody can come and it's free. Right?
You don't charge at the door at all?
I never do. And I never want to unless it's like maybe a one-off. Like I'm starting to think about
I think
it. Like
you can start charging like $5-10.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Start selling merch or something.
It's not bad.
But again, I feel like it's just one of those things where like I've like made it such a thing to say that I will never charge at my parties.
No, I mean,
I
you're
wanna,
already
like,
letting
carry it
everybody in. There's no guest list. I mean, there's no harm in charging $5 to $10.
I feel like the most I'll do is like merch. I've had
Yeah,
that
do
idea
merch
a few
booth or
times.
something.
Well, I think you could start charging at the door and hire someone to help you too, and like alleviate some things from your,
Maybe I'll start
from your
charging like
table.
after midnight or some shit.
Wait, so you do everything for 444? The flyers, the guest
Everything.
list, everything?
Flyers, social media, emailing people back, guest lists, bottle service, like reservations, like
She's
everything.
really artistic. She has like a
No, she is, because I've
great
done the
creative
party.
background.
Yeah, I've done the party, and she sent me some cool flyers and videos and stuff. We did my birthday
But
party.
she's doing like gifts.
With
She's
her.
doing all types of
No,
stuff.
yeah, it's
The
really fun.
animated like flyers and shit.
Why didn't you
It's
bring
impressive.
shouts to Just Out? Why didn't you bring him on? To
as
help-
a partner.
Yeah, because you guys
Well-
did the Twitch thing together.
He's like a permanent resident, but like again, like it was just like a me thing. Like even before the pandemic, I was doing it already, so I just wanted it to be like a me thing. And I don't want to give someone the responsibility to commit if it's not something that they're into.
True.
Like if you're not into throwing parties, I'm not gonna get you to commit to something like that.
But
you know?
usually, like we've spoke with Nopa about this too. Usually, like the people will emerge. Whoever's in support of your party will emerge, and they'll
Yeah.
be there all the time. And those are the people you kind of recruit
Yeah.
to help
Right.
you with the party. And
Yeah.
if they're coming there and they support the party and they support you, they're on brand to support whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you can compensate them as you go and start charging at the
Yeah.
door. Compensate the right people and give people incentive to keep working with
Yeah.
you and the party.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it goes.
I mean,
you
I feel
know?
like right now it's still kind of like a baby.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
like
still
I'm
young.
still doing it for fun.
Yeah.
And I'm still only doing it when it makes sense with my schedule, because I'm still like I still have my DJ world, which is still my priority.
But it's
like 4-4 has not become like a higher priority than my DJ career.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like it's hard for me to focus on that because of that. Because I was doing every last Saturday of the month for 444, and then like you just get busier and like schedule conflict or whatever. So now it's become like any Saturday out of the month that I'm free, I'll do it. But obviously, like I do want to prioritize it because like it's picking up a lot of heat, and like I feel like it's such a good concept for a party. I just need to like put more time and effort on it.
But you do it once a month, right?
Once a month.
She tries to.
Yeah.
No, it's always been once a month.
always there.
Yeah.
Oh.
It just hasn't been consistent as far as like last Saturday of the month. It used to be, but not
Oh,
anymore.
okay. But you definitely do it once a month. is what you're
Definitely
saying.
once a month.
And it's been like
I've
2
never
years now,
missed,
right?
a month, huh?
It's been like 2 years now that you have it open?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Yes, almost 2 years. It's still a baby, dude. Like,
You've only really done 24.
I think less than 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there though. It's definitely getting there.
That's catching,
right?
for sure.
But as far as as far as like having like a team and like, you know, delegating like priorities and like tasks, since like the last 4 to 5 parties, I've definitely thought to myself, I'm fucking crazy for doing this shit. I do need a team, but I'm just so like meticulous and specific. It's hard for me to like give that responsibility to someone else because I always feel like no one's going to do it the way I do it.
Yep.
I'm not saying that no one's going to do it better than or as good as I can do it. I don't think I'm the best. I'm so specific and
You
particular.
can count on yourself too.
You know it's going to get done the right way.
Yes.
When you do it yourself.
Yes. And even as far as like say like guest lists go, like I've you know had someone do it for me a couple of parties and it wasn't like how I wanted it to go. Like she didn't run it the way I needed her to run it. Like you know,
but that's expected. Like the first time, and then
I
the
gotta
second
train them
time,
too.
you have to. It's training, and it's just kind of having meetings, and like even though it's a monthly party, you have weekly meetings,
Right.
And then what you do is you discuss what happened, what was good, and what was bad.
Yeah.
Like literally the Monday
Yeah.
or after the event.
Yeah.
And then you start planning for the next, and you put bullet points on what was good and what was bad, and then what needs
Right.
improvement.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to give people 3 to 6 months.
God damn, see, that to me sounds like, but I know I do. But I feel like it's easier for me to just do it myself. This is someone's going to be like, oh my gosh, she's such a fucking Virgo, because everyone says this all the time. Like, until I go through like a scenario or a situation where I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this shit anymore, then I will. But
that's a lot of but that's a lot of like entrepreneurs and business owners.
Yeah.
There's a breaking point, and at that breaking point, that's when they start realizing a change has to happen. But as you start like doing more businesses, you realize I don't want to get to that breaking point.
Yeah.
So you start sensing like, all right, I'm starting to get overextended.
Yeah. It's
Let me
starting
start
to get
training
there.
someone now, so that when it really starts hitting hard, like in 6 months, I'll be ready. Instead of trying to train someone when it's hitting hard in 6 months,
Right.
and then it's like more chaotic.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then it seems like no one's trained.
Yeah.
That's why you kind of want to bring people on when it's like
Early in the
slowly
game.
building and kind of getting to that point.
Yeah, that's
it's
good
but
advice.
it's always hard to let go. It's like
that's exactly what it
even
is.
in
Which is a personal thing. Again, like if someone were to ask me for advice, I would not give them the advice of I would not I'm not a good example as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I would give them your advice.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing: is like if you let something go, and if you get back 70% of what you expected, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
So you just got to think of it at that point. Like,
Yeah.
how much? Like, what did they do? If you put down the bullet points of their job, you're like, well, they did 8 parts of their job, but they fucked up on 2. That's 80%. Like they actually did pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they did 80% of their job. Now
Right.
we just got to work on this 20%.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if it's even 60%, I'll even be like, let me give them a month or so and see if they can get it to 80%.
Exactly.
But it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's just one of those difficulties.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're aware of it. That's good, though. That you're sensing it.
Oh, I'm definitely aware of my hyper, like I need to manage every single thing.
Yeah. I mean, we went through the same thing with the podcast. There was times when I wanted to when Jamie and I were like, we wanted to stop it. We were just like, and then
We overextended ourselves,
Yeah.
and then we had to just revamp it, and we gave other people like Nudia some task, and then Alex some task, and then it kind of made things easier for him and I.
now it's like streamlined.
Yeah, now it's like
great.
boom,
Now
boom,
we
boom,
just
boom.
have to work on like other aspects, and it's just
Yeah.
about knowing like, all right, we got to work on this and work on that, and
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Me and Kirk were doing this shit for like 5 years, and it was just us, and it was just editing videos, editing the audio,
it
artwork,
was
all
just
this
a
shit.
lot.
We were talking, and it was just me and him, and sometimes we wouldn't click, and we get arguments about a title.
I was just gonna say that.
And now it's more so like we have Nudia to kind of filter our thoughts and then
Yeah.
her thoughts, and then it kind of helps out. So
It's funny. Like I remember talking to Shecky Green. He was the co-owner of the Source magazine.
Yeah, Shecky.
He would tell me that before each episode, when it went to press, it was like a scramble. It was like the most stressful thing, and they came out with a new issue every month. So at the end of every month, they're scrambling to finish this issue.
Yeah.
And it's always like that with every week for us. Where every episode we were up till like 1 a.m. just finishing up the episode.
Yeah, today's episode.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We switched the title. We switched the cover art.
Cover.
We switched.
There
we
were
had
titles.
We had edit something out.
He
and then we
literally edited 30 minutes out of the podcast.
Wow.
and then I got overvoted, and then I had to re-put it.
And then I said, Nudia, take a listen to this 30 minutes. Let me know if it shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, this is great. You should just take these things out.
See, that's good.
But
And
it's
then-
all in the last minute. But imagine if you're doing this alone.
yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
That's
You know, at least I had Jamie to bounce things around. And the thing is, like, I'm even harder on myself than you are on yourself. So there's certain ideas and there's certain things that I would do that I wouldn't even execute it.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'd be like, that's a horrible idea. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But when I tell these guys, they'll be like, no, let's give it a
Great.
try. And I'm like, well, maybe it's not that bad. So that's why it's important to have somebody there because, you know,
Yeah.
they kind of balance things out.
because
I agree.
in
Yeah.
Cricket's thoughts, if
Great
he has
advice.
if Cricket has an idea, he'll dissect why it's not gonna work, and then dissect why it's gonna work, and the bad usually outweighs the good. But when he presents it to us, it's like
You always
wait,
need like an outsider's.
we filter it different.
Someone
We're
who
like,
sees it
why are you even
differently.
thinking about these 98% problems that probably won't happen, and just give it the 2%, win.
Yeah.
And then
I say that with producers all the time, like DJ producers. I'm like, work with, have a couple homies that you can just like literally work with.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you guys can bounce ideas. There might be a beat that you fucking or remix or
Oh, that's
edit that you
totally
hate.
fucking true.
And
Yeah.
isn't it ironic? Every person that's gone viral with like a song or a video, they're always saying, I wasn't gonna post it.
Absolutely.
Everyone always says that, right? They're
Exactly.
like, I wasn't gonna post this, and I just said fuck it, and then it ended up going viral.
Why
And
is
then-
that shit so true? I
what
always
it
say like
is.
my best work is always like shit that like I've like been the most critical about.
Yeah.
But someone else loves it the most. Like mixes, merch, whatever the fuck it is. I'm always like, I didn't like this, but someone else loves it more than
Yeah.
they liked anything that you.
We're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
We're really hard on ourselves.
Be kind
Yeah.
to yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Very hypercritical, which is
sure.
obviously like
It's the Virgo in
advantage.
Out of us.
And
It's the Virgo.
it's a blessing and a curse.
That's the name of this episode.
It's the
Virgo.
It's a Virgo.
It's the Virgo.
You know,
Virgo.
I hate saying that shit because I'm not even into like I don't know much about astrology. I just know
You're
that
not into astrology? Why
Yes,
do you keep
she
saying
is.
that?
She is.
Hold on.
She loves
No.
Geminis, and everybody hates
No,
Geminis.
this is what I'm saying. I'm not. I'm just saying these things from like every time I say something or do something, someone will always be like, "God, you're such a Virgo." Then that's
Aren't you a Virgo?
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, he's a Virgo too.
I've
Yeah.
never said that to you.
I know,
You're such
I've
a
never heard you
Virgo.
say
I'm
that.
not into astrology.
I'm gonna start
But
saying that.
I see what you're saying. You want to do everything by yourself. You don't really like.
Never is
really-
like that too, kind of.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you
but
don't want
Neva's the
outside
opposite
help.
of you. He
and a
won't.
perfectionist.
He won't share a fucking thing about what's
Yeah,
going
he
on.
won't. I'm like, why didn't you tell me this? I
Never,
didn't
are
wanna
you a
tell
perfectionist or like hypercritical?
I am a little bit.
Are you very observant?
I'm a Virgo.
Give us a chance. Give us a chance.
This is like a speed date.
Yeah.
It sounds like a speed date. Are you hypercritical? Yes, I am.
Yes.
I am.
Do you like blueberries?
I've
Green
never
flag.
known. I've never known. That's like
That's some shit we just learned.
that's like a characteristic I've known
Oh
this
my
dude for
God.
what? Almost 20
Over 20 years,
Over 20
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Hypercritical is not
I was
up there.
Yo, me and Cricket looked at each other like, wait, I've never
Oh my
knew this.
God.
I'm about to be like, he is Mr. Hypercritical. He is.
So hypercritical.
Like, oh my God.
Not that bad, but
We
I
call
know
him
what you're saying, though.
hypercritical, you know? We call him hypey, you know? He's so hypercritical.
We call him HC, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Virgos. High five, Neva.
Virgos.
Shouts to
In
the
the building.
Geminis, know what I mean?
Yeah.
She loves Geminis.
All right, moving forward.
Hold
Moving
on, you never took her to homie court, dog.
You never like explain what your
Oh,
beef
yeah.
with her.
Yeah, hold on.
I don't have a beef with her, but she did something nasty on Twitter.
The defendant, Bella Fiasco.
I think you were in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
You were finishing up a gig with maybe Eccentric.
Okay.
And you guys maybe got something to eat.
She's trying to think what's going on.
And then she put him on video, right? Eccentric is, he's after. This is after the gig.
All right, let's go. Now you remember.
This is after the gig,
I'm gonna be your lawyer just in case. Hey.
So wait.
Okay.
So spit it out already. I'm tired of everybody interrupting. What happened?
The jury's pissed.
So this is after a gig. You were spinning with Eccentric, right? In the Bay recently? Or
In San Diego.
San Diego. There you go. They were spinning together. Was it for
Sunday brunch, Miles and
for
Jules'
Jules
party.
party? Shout out to Jules and Miles Medina.
Yeah.
Trust the guy.
You
Amazing
guys got
party.
something to eat after the gig.
Yeah.
He looked tired, exhausted from traveling. He looked hungry, maybe slightly delusional from hunger.
Yeah.
I love
Dehydrated
Eccentric. By
a
the way,
little
I'm a Eccentric, edit fan. I
Yeah,
love what he
advocate
does.
over here.
Yeah.
He's also from New York, right?
Right.
So she posts this video and she's recording him, and he's he looks tired and hungry, and I don't know if she was holding his food hostage or whatever.
That's fucked up.
Answer this fucking question or out.
And then she says, "What did you just say earlier?" He's like, "Nah," and then she's like, "No, what did you just say earlier?" And he said something to the and I'm paraphrasing here.
Yes.
He said, Cali parties be more popping than New York. And she's like, "Thank you." And then ends the
Hey.
Oh shit.
video. Wait. That's nasty, right?
That's
That's
fucked
some
up.
nasty ass shit.
I thought that was great.
That was nasty. And then what is she?
Was
wait,
that before she was in New York?
No. But this is the funny thing, right? She just told us how much she loves
Yeah,
the New
that's-
York culture and the New York nightlife. It's so different from Cali.
Okay, I see where this is going.
But for her to post this New York motherfucker, right? And have him on the record.
That's kinda
say-
whack.
That's nasty, right?
That's
no.
crazy.
So
If he was
that's
a West Coast,
crazy,
if he was
bro.
from the West Coast, all right, understand. But he's from New York.
Yeah, she put him on
You
blast.
had-
So
She
how
put him
about-
on
Yeah,
blast.
that's cool.
all right, no, that's not on
put him
blast.
on blast.
Bella, come
it's
on.
definitely not on blast if he was okay with it and he retweeted it. But anyways, that's
He
besides the
looked
point.
like
He looked like his gun to his head.
He's like, damn, I'm just trying to get my food.
there
Starvation.
might have been. I don't know. He looked like someone was behind her doing some shit.
Yeah,
like
like-
with a gun to
They
his
had a
head.
gun to the back of his head.
And she runs with a posse
you
too.
better say yeah.
And I think he was wearing a Yankee cap.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Take that shit off.
So let me give you a little background. That's actually a TVT video
Okay.
from another night that he played.
Oh wait, a what? A throwback?
Yeah, that's a throwback video from another night that he played in LA.
Shit.
And I was like, what better or more perfect time to bring this out
You cold?
Yeah.
than like us playing a West Coast party not that coming weekend. Well, yeah, the next day. So I posted that video the day before our gig together.
Right.
You did it for promo purpose.
And I'm like, isn't this fucking genius marketing? He's playing in the West Coast. He's coming out here from New York. He loves playing in the West Coast. I hope I'm not speaking for him. Well, no, I'm
I
not
don't know.
because he
You're
agreed.
not.
I'm sure he
Obviously,
does.
I'm not
I'm
because
sure
he
he
You know,
agreed.
it's funny. I thought he was from the West Coast.
Yeah, I thought he was
'cause
from the West Coast or
you know
the
why?
South.
Because the West Coast appreciates him so much because that's why he loves West Coast parties. And that goes back to what I said earlier. West Coast DJs love and appreciate New York DJs, but in New York, they're just a little less welcoming.
Ooh, spicy.
Okay, you know what? I have a question. Would you consider AM?
Oh, that's what you wanted to say earlier.
Yeah, that's what she wanted
Yeah.
to say.
You could have said
a little
it came
less-
out now.
Okay.
It came out now, right?
Yo, was AM? Is AM considered a West Coast DJ?
Yes,
Yeah.
1,000.
But he's from Philly.
Yes, but he's West Coast.
I consider him a West Coast DJ, but people will say he's Philly.
yeah, but he moved.
But his style is
Is
a
East
Philly
Coast.
style.
And his-
It's a Philly
yeah.
style.
Philly
but-
style, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
very East Coast style for sure.
But look, I'm not even like, I'm not trying to shit on, again, like, East Coast DJs, like I said earlier, the most fucking solid DJs. I'm saying
Yo,
that's
she said solid.
Solid.
solid. That's
Solid.
I mean,
Yeah, like a Carl's Jr. hamburger.
Like, it's
solid.
all right. It's all right.
hold on.
the double Western cheeseburger is pretty solid.
Yo, solid is a fucking top tier compliment. Are
That's
you kidding
very,
me?
what the
Is it?
fuck? What am I?
Solid?
Just hard?
Absolutely.
Pause.
Solid is like you're just like
Nah, bro. Solid is just okay for me.
absolutely
That's
solid.
solid is.
If someone
is
says, "Hey, that Jaime, that dude is solid," like that's my dog.
Pause,
He's
no.
solid.
Yo, if I was like, yo, yeah, pause on that.
Pause on the
For real.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
I was waiting for the first pause moment on
You
this.
said that shit when you
No,
walked in.
Jamie, if I was like, yo, you went out with that shorty, man, how was that date? It was like,
It's a solid.
solid.
That's
That's
not
a
a
good
compliment.
thing.
That's not a compliment.
Yeah, it's all right.
a better compliment. Like,
It just-
man, yo, like she was
Solid is like, you know,
just
like,
okay.
it's like the food court at a festival.
Yes,
That's it's
What?
or at the
solid.
mall.
Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
No, you're right.
Yo, how are the burgers at the Coachella food court?
It's solid.
It's solid.
That's it.
Solid.
Okay,
It's
well,
decent.
how about this? We're not about to argue about what the fuck solid means to y'all. But when I say
Do it
solid,
on a scale of 1 to 10.
a New York DJ scale
Yeah.
of 1 to 10,
If you-
9 out of 10. Like
9. So a 9 out of 10 is not solid.
that's solid to me. You're unbreakable.
That's
You're
top
fucking
tier.
solid. Listen, solid.
That's exceptional.
unbreakable.
That's
Like
exceptional.
he killed
You're
it.
okay. Fine. New York DJs are fucking amazing.
Nah, I agree with her. I think I and this is me. I'm from LA, but my style is more birthed from East Coast motherfuckers.
Absolutely.
And I think they're way better DJs. And that's just me. And people are gonna hate me, but it's the truth.
So that's why I say that in the West Coast, when we have like guest DJs from New York, like
I'm hyped.
we're fucking hyped. That's why we're so welcoming, because we fucking know you guys are solid.
Solid.
Solid's not good.
Capital SOLID, solid. Like we're that's why we're more appreciative and welcoming. But like
You don't get that welcome in New York, is what you're saying.
No, that's not reciprocated is what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
Which I agree, because I told you this, Cricket. The only place I'm scared of DJing is in New York. I think that's the mecca to me now. Before it used to be Vegas, but now it's New York to me, because it's a lot. It holds more weight to a DJ in New York than a Vegas room. And that's just me.
And like I said, I'm not saying that I don't want fucking New York DJs to come for me. I'm not saying this to shit on them at all. I'm maybe rightfully so, because they know their shit. They don't need any other DJs coming in their city. They got all the best fucking DJs. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Well, I think no one's questioning that you're shitting on New
I
York
hope
DJs.
not.
I don't
I'm
think
scared.
you are. But I thought that was nasty what you did to Eccentric.
What?
That's crazy.
Because
You
if I
punked them.
retweeted that, and I almost retweeted that,
You were
post,
like Suge Knight, bro.
and I said, "Oh wow!" And a bunch of New York motherfuckers saw a New York motherfucker say
shit would
that
start a
Cali
war.
parties are better than New York parties. That can be almost like
That's
some,
kinda
some
It could start a
drama.
war.
crazy.
I understand that it could start a war, but honestly, I was just like, like the West Coast fucking, they love like bringing Eccentric out, like, and he
course.
loves playing West Coast parties.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just saying,
But you kind of punked
we're
him,
so
though.
welcoming.
But
to
I feel
fucking,
like there is a better
Hold on.
platform for him on the West Coast because there's so many R&B parties. That's
absolutely.
why.
I was
Yeah.
also going to say that,
But it's such a larger market.
Yeah.
Of what he does, like what he does exceptionally well.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
says we're so welcoming, but she punked the shit out of
Well,
him.
but
She
here's-
held his
I'm
foot
like,
out.
yo,
but
But you know what? I seen
Hey,
the clips you posted when you DJ'd in New York. Everyone seemed to love that. You was getting welcome.
Yeah, they were
No,
like,
that
"Don't
was,
make
a
me
great,
say it."
that was a great party. I fucking loved like that party in specific. Like shout out to Cuffing Season for bringing me out, because that was amazing. Deluxe Flux, great venue. Like energy was 100 all fucking night. But yeah, I was like recording Eccentric, and I literally had a gun like this. I was
yeah,
like,
she was Suge Knight, bro.
what's the best fucking party?
She
just
Suge Knight. She Suge Knight him, and he was Easy E. They were
just
trying to
kidding.
get Dr. Dre.
Nah, she
contract.
should night him. He was ice, vanilla ice.
Vanilla Ice.
But here, listen, I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with like, this was another Twitter thing. Like people were saying that like parties in LA are so trash. Do you guys remember that tweet? It wasn't that long ago.
I mean,
Someone from somewhere
In what way?
was like something like LA is trash. Like parties in LA are so trash. I remember
I think
saw
nightlife
it.
in LA is trash.
I think I remember seeing that tweet, because I think Artistic might have like retweeted it or some shit like that. And I'm
Of course,
Artistic, the mayor of LA. Shout out to Artistic.
dude, I say this shit all the fucking time. Like if you don't think LA nightlife has good parties,
Okay.
you're going to the wrong fucking shit.
Okay,
Because-
what's a good party to you?
Well-
Outside of yours, where do you go?
No. So here's the thing. They're stereotyping LA nightlife just based on like that one Hollywood bottle service like pocket. Hollywood nightlife is
Right.
its own pocket. It is not categorized the entire LA nightlife, because there's so many poppin' parties in LA that are curated parties again by DJs. Like I mean, Pangea Sound. Aside from my party, there's or 143 was fucking amazing.
You consider Pangea Sound an LA party?
Well, I think they're global now, but Supernova is from New York, but he lives in LA now.
No, but I think it's really scattered.
It is very scattered,
It's
but,
literally
but they,
Pangea.
Joaquin is from Austin.
he's from Texas, yeah.
Yeah. So
Falcons.
it's very scattered. I wouldn't call it like a LA party.
No, but I mean, they're
She's already co-signed.
Yeah.
no, but they throw like parties in LA all the
They
time.
do it in Miami and New York and everywhere.
But not as
you know?
consistent as LA is.
When I
understand,
first
but the
heard about
vibe-
him, I thought they were a Miami party because they were doing a lot of shit in Miami.
Yeah. But the vibe that you get in an LA like Pangea party, like that shit is fucking incredible. That's amazing. Like if you were from
It is
out of
amazing.
state or out of town,
But I think they can get away with more in Miami
yeah.
because there's more of a dance hall. There's more of an Afrobeat scene. That's what I'm saying. Like for me, that what they're doing, combining like baile funk and like all of these genres together. To me, that's why I wouldn't label it an LA party. It's really just like
It's a conglomerate.
It's a conglomerate
Okay.
of a whole lot of things. Because I don't think of dance hall, baile funk, and all of these genres, and dembo, and all of these things.
As LA? Yeah.
You know
no,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure. I
Yeah.
agree. But there's definitely a lot of fucking cool parties in LA.
No,
If
there's a
somebody
lot of-
disagrees with that, they're not going to the right
I don't
shit.
disagree. I think
I'm
there's
not
a
going
lot
to
of.
the right
I think
place.
there's a lot of great parties in LA.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of great DJs in LA.
Yeah.
But
Here comes the but.
I don't blame an out of towner who goes to any city and goes to the commercial bottle service club and say that, you know, these parties are whack.
Yeah.
Because there's certain bottle service parties in New York that I would be like, yo, I could understand a DJ going there and being like, yo, this shit is whack.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
just not really getting it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even like going to the bottle service clubs in LA.
But I would say some of the Hollywood clubs though are really horrific.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah, like they're like
I wouldn't be
1000%.
I wouldn't be there as an attendee.
like the crowd.
That's why you don't see yourself.
crowd. It's just like really awful.
I've never seen a Bella Fiasco.
It's almost like I can't even explain it. It's
Yeah.
There's like there's an energy of desperation.
It definitely fits the stereotype of what people think
Yeah.
like Hollywood nightlife
Like
is
so,
like.
everyone's on a come up.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Yeah.
What can you do for me?
Yeah.
It's really it's nasty.
It's
really
horrific.
nasty.
Yeah. Everyone has like a personal task when they go to these clubs. You know what I mean?
It seems like
everyone
everyone
has
in
an
there
agenda.
it seems like everyone in there has a transactional relationship with one another.
With everybody.
Totally.
Do you know, like everything is just transactional.
Yeah.
It's not like none of these people are
Oh, no, I
actual
agree.
friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I definitely agree.
Like, I don't
like someone is eating off of somebody
Yeah.
else, and that's the only reason why they're in this room.
And you know what's funny? I don't feel that when I go to 444. It feels like a very family friendly organization.
but when you
that.
go to
That's-
anywhere, in
So it sounds
LA,
like an industry party that someone's trying to come up.
no, it's just
That's what it is.
No, I mean, when I used to DJ like One Oak, that was the only like experience I've had where just random girls would just start drinking out of my bottle.
No, Playhouse was
Yeah.
the same way.
No, they weren't even allowed up there.
So-
But like One Oak, you could kind of finagle your way into the DJ booth, and this is like when
yeah, 'cause
this was the first time I was in One Oak, LA, and I'm DJing whenever I'm there. Every time I turn around, there's just groups of girls that I don't know drinking
Pouring
out of the
shit.
bottle.
Oh,
And
that's
just-
probably the promoters bringing them up.
No,
there.
they're not. They're not. They're not.
The weasel.
And then they were even telling like, yo, have one of your boys just watch the bottle because it's just like, shorty's just come out like,
Holy
yo, it was just the
shit.
worst type of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god.
And that's when I was just like, yo, like everyone in LA is kind of broke, yo. Like I've never seen,
That's true. I don't know how they get by,
I've
bro.
never seen so many.
Do you
broke-
know that?
Yo.
That's crazy, right? You just realized that?
I've never seen so many broke people go out.
No, for real. You
Damn,
don't
he's
have-
calling.
So they faking
he's
the
calling
funk.
LA people, bro.
no, Hollywood people.
No, like
No,
these
no, no,
people in
I-
these Hollywood scenes, like you're like when you're that broke, but you're still going out, and then you're going out, but you're like, yo, I'm gonna just like take drinks from other tables.
Yo, I've seen a Hollywood dude out here, like really not even want to pay for his parking. That's how broke he was. I was like, "What are you
my
doing
God.
here?" Me and Kirk saw that live.
No, like I remember, I remember we went out to eat, and it was like I thought everyone was like homies, and then like people were not ordering because they couldn't afford the food, but then everyone was like eating off of like our food.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, y'all want something? And they're like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, I got you. And they're like, you got me? And they were just like, oh, let me get this. And I
Lord
was
and
just,
Savior.
And then all these other motherfuckers came. I'm like, yo, y'all are going out
Oh.
and then you're going afterwards to eat, but y'all have no money.
I'm
so-
getting secondhand embarrassment.
Was this in LA or
No,
people from LA coming to Vegas?
No. This is in LA. This is like me going like out into a Hollywood club and then the people like kind of being there.
Is it an LA or Hollywood? Not LA. Is it a Hollywood thing for you guys to see like a club and all the tables are just like trappers with like a million fucking
Yeah, because they want to be the transaction.
girls
Yeah.
who none of them know each other?
But it's not even like one kind of person there. You'll see like different races of different kinds of the same people. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like-
the same type.
Yeah, like
people.
I'll see
Exactly.
like Armenian group that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
almost the same as
The Mexican.
like this Mexican Latin group, or it just be like all
Yeah,
kind,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's all kind of the same people.
No, I know exactly
Where
what
like
you mean.
one person's paying for everything,
Yeah.
right, and then there's a bunch of people that are there like feeding all.
Tag-alongs.
Yeah, it's a lot of tag.
I feel like that's what I didn't see much of in New York. Just
Because
like,
you don't see that over
just the trapper.
No, I mean, it's
culture
out there,
too.
bro.
Like,
there. Nah, I don't think to that magnitude.
I think in somewhere in Hollywood though, I think transactional relationships are more open. It's more of a common thing to
yeah.
have transactional relationships.
Yeah, because I remember I pulled something like that in the beginning when I started hanging out with Crooked, and he checked me and he's like, "You don't do that type of shit." And I was like, "Oh, it was good over there," and I'm like, "Oh, I got to learn this the different way."
Well,
But
I think in Hollywood, if you're in a perimeter and you have access to like people, famous people or celebrities, you immediately try to like latch on and like eat off of it.
Try to get something out of it.
like I have like certain clientele that are like just my trapper homies that like they'll book tables, but they don't have any guests with them, so they'll ask me not to overshare. Like, this is one of those things, like bring the girls.
Yeah.
And I also have clientele with like a certain group of girls that go to clubs just for that. Mm-hmm. So I have like, I have like my address. I mean, not my address, but like my list of like girls and my list of trappers that like I know where to take them. I know,
Right.
you know what I mean?
So you're like a madam.
yeah, she's a madam. Pound it, baby.
Oh my God.
Heidi what is it, Heidi Fleisch?
Hey,
Yeah,
No, but
madam.
I think that's promoting. That's promoting.
yeah, dude. When I
but
started
that's
DJing,
hustling in a way.
I mean, that's promoting. It's
Promoting and
it's
hustling.
connecting
Yeah.
the dots.
dude, fun
It's a
fact.
supply and demand. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
No, really.
You became the trapper for the trappers.
Dude, a lot of people don't even remember this shit. Like maybe like my first, maybe like into my fourth year of DJing, I started a promoter group.
I did that.
Yeah, and it was and this was just so I could have my own night at Shark Club in Costa Mesa. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was just so I could have my own night, Friday nights at Shark Club in Costa Mesa. I started an all-girl promoters group, and we were
Smart.
called the Red Pumps.
Woo!
Oh my God, no, hold on. I'm cringing literally thinking about it because I'm remembering like
You know what she means
So
by
listen
that?
to this. No, we were called the Red Pumps. It was a group of like I think 6 or 7 of us. I like hired like just all my homegirls that like love to party,
Yeah.
that could bring like groups into the clubs, and we would wear black dresses and red pumps to all our events. Red lipstick. Like, I was like, this shit is tight. I was like, you've never seen this shit out in Orange County.
You were like the pink ladies in Greece.
yeah, but except we fucking like wore like black leather dresses and red pumps. And I was like, this shit has like so much potential. And we fucking, dude, our events were popping. But again, like this was another one of those things where like my DJ career started to take off. So I was like, I'm not a promoter. I just needed to do this to get myself into this like pocket in Orange County because I wasn't all the way in Hollywood or LA yet.
Yeah.
So I just needed to do that to get my foot in. And then when that was done, like I think we did it for like a few months, then I was like on my way. Like I was just like doing my DJ shit. And also like the girls, couple of the girls like got pregnant, just like had their own lives.
She
like
lost her LeBron James.
they couldn't wear like red pumps anymore. You
Bitch,
know
my
what I
feet
mean?
hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
I think every like successful DJ has a promoter in them. They got to be a promoter.
Yeah,
No, yeah, you definitely
absolutely.
gotta
I was having a conversation with somebody. They're part of like an agency, and they were talking about like these up and coming DJs, and they're like, these DJs are working big rooms. They open and close. They're company men.
Yeah.
So they work for these like big clubs, and they're in these high profile clubs, and they're there like 3 to 4 nights a week. They're working steadily. And he's like, should we sign these guys and whatever? And I'm like, well, are they getting inquiries like already? And there's like, no, they're not. But they're saying we can get them the inquiries. And I'm like, maybe you can and maybe you can't, but there has to be that promoter in them
Yeah.
to get it going a little bit already. If they don't have it going already, some of them might just be company men forever.
Yeah.
Like where they just work for the club
Exactly.
forever. And they're just like, we have some of these DJs in Vegas that are like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Immensely talented DJs. There's like so talented. They're great DJs, but they're very, I don't know if it's a comfort level or if there's a naiveness or an ignorance of how maybe
comfort level.
I think comfort. More.
maybe they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Steady
they're comfortable,
check.
but like, I think there's something about putting yourself out there and then being uncomfortable and then being comfortable putting yourself out there and then promoting and then having that hustle spirit in you.
Yeah.
Versus like the DJ who's like really talented, who should be in these rooms, but they
Exactly.
can't get in those rooms because they just lack that spirit, or I don't know what it is, that kick in the pants to just have them go out there. And
I think that's why I like started to like inch away from like the Hollywood bottle service club once I did make it in there, because I was always only getting booked to open, and they would book me because they knew that I came with like the
Some baddies.
the baddies,
Brought people with you.
and
Yeah.
the trappers that would just like spend hella money on bottles. But they were booking me solely because of that. They didn't actually respect me as a DJ. And again, this was like a while ago. Like there weren't like that many female DJs yet. I mean, there's a lot now. I feel like that glass ceiling has definitely been broken. But at that time, like especially in that scene,
There's
like
very
the
few.
urban Hollywood scene, if it wasn't like Charisma, there was no other girl.
Lady Shaw, you.
Lady Shaw, absolutely yes. But like
You.
that super like urban pocket in Hollywood, like there wasn't really
No.
anyone other than like
Maybe 5 of them, 6 at most.
yeah.
but so you felt like a need to just branch out and prove yourself as a DJ.
Yeah, and I wasn't like growing, and again, like even as far as music goes, like I couldn't play how I really wanted to play because I could only play what an opening set sounds like at these bottle service Hollywood urban clubs.
But that's the thing in LA. Like, there's always a DJ above you, and that DJ is not willing to share that spotlight with you. So you forever underneath them until you break out and stuff
dude,
like that.
I like never felt like respect from like
Yeah, same.
anybody that worked in these like scenes at all. Like I'm so glad that I'm not
We mean like the operators or the promoters?
everything from
DJs?
promoters to DJs that
The
I would
DJs
play
respect
with.
you though.
No, there's some dudes that don't.
Are you
Kirk.
kidding me?
Are you kidding?
I have
No.
one. There's one scenario that happened to me.
Me and you spoke about it.
Yeah, and to this day, I don't talk to this person. I don't have any enemies,
What
but
happened?
this man is my fucking enemy. I was opening for this guy at this club in Hollywood. He's a resident DJ at this spot. I was supposed to play from 10:30 to midnight, and he was there early. Like he got there like maybe like at 11. He's like hosting his tables, his like friends and all this shit.
Right.
And I'm still playing, and I'm playing, and again, like at this point, I had already been like maybe 2 years into like opening at these like urban like Hollywood nights, right? So I knew what to play. It was like clockwork for me. I knew what an opening set sounds like. It's not like it's my first time playing this club or this type of set. But it was my first time playing with him. So like maybe like right around like 11:30, he goes up behind me, doesn't introduce himself, doesn't say hi, like, but I already knew who he was. I kid you not, he sets up his own laptop stand. I do the whole, hey, my name is Bella, shake his hand, super dismissive, like shook my hand without looking at me. I ask him like, oh, do you need the laptop stand? I'll put my laptop somewhere else. And he's like, no, I brought my own. Sets up his own shit, sets up his own mic. I don't know if this will give it away, but he always brings his own mic with his own fucking like stand because he doesn't talk on a mic like this. He like always just
I don't hear anything bad yet.
No.
Yeah, right.
But
Let me
Wait.
get to it. I like to tell my stories in detail.
I know, but it's like really sassy.
I'm trying to paint a picture to y'all.
You're really like
She's making it
sounds
really
kind of-
intense.
No.
I'm like, I kind of respect this guy. He's bringing
Yeah.
his own shit and he's
not
setting it up.
But he's not bothering you while you DJing.
Because
he's-
I haven't
He's
gone
doing his thing. You DJing.
But
because I
yeah.
haven't gone to the bad part.
There's already some red flags though, guys.
Okay.
Dismissive about her introducing
dismissive.
herself.
That's one, but maybe he.
Just wait to the big flag.
So fine, let me fast forward then. Fast forward after he sets his shit up on his laptop stand. First thing he literally does, literally pulled the USB out, complete silence, and he doesn't get on the mic. And I'm like, wait, is he doing that on purpose? I was like, why the fuck did he just? But I'm thinking like maybe he's just trying to do something dramatic for the club. Like nothing at all.
Yeah.
And then just dead fucking silence in the club until his shit plugged, until Serato read his USB, and then gets on the mic and he said, now we can really get the fucking party started. Yeah. And then starts playing.
That's cold.
Like, how is that shit like...
All right, that's fucked up.
Where's that? You don't see the
There's no respect
That shit is
to that,
so
bro.
disrespectful.
It is.
What night is he there? Let me go see this motherfucker.
No, you're not gonna find this dude. The club doesn't exist anymore. Actually, this club got shot up and they just like shut
Holy
down.
shit.
Yeah, like
Did he kill it though? What did he,
I mean,
when he
obviously,
said
he's
that,
a
what did he-
fucking.
Look at that.
Who was it?
I wish I could
I
remember
think-
what song he dropped first, but like, dude, that shit was so
if he
like
dropped
demeaning.
if he dropped like BPT or
Can I
something,
take a-
that like
All right.
BBT wasn't out yet. This was a.
Can I take a guess of who it was?
Yeah, we'll bleep
And
it out. We'll bleep
you
it out.
bleep it out. Okay.
Was it?
No,
Do you want to?
Well, who is it though? We'll bleep it out.
Yeah, we'll bleep it out.
it's.
Oh,
That
that's
was my second guess.
I fucking hate that
No, it
dude
was one
so
of those
much.
two. Yeah. Really?
I hate him. He's just
Cold-blooded.
disrespectful. He's not a nice
I've
person
DJed
at
with him
all.
a bunch of times. He seems mad cool.
I mean, to you, probably.
He's never done.
He never pulled your USB out.
He never did
Nah,
that.
well, he definitely-
you would know.
Bro, he
I'm like,
definitely
quick,
has.
this motherfucker.
I think you would have just started choking him.
I would have.
Dog. He definitely has some
Really?
arrogance
Wow.
to him.
I would have definitely heard about it. He's like, yo, you would never believe what this motherfucker did.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
But you know-
I'm surprised to hear that about him.
Yeah, but you know,
shit.
if that shit would have happened to me now, like I feel like now I'm in a place where I could react to shit like that, but at the time, like I didn't. Like I was so like I always felt like small in these spaces. Like I always felt like I didn't have a voice. I always felt like I couldn't fucking react because if I react, I will lose like I will lose
Yeah.
my future
Yeah, of
bookings.
course.
Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like yeah, like back then I like and again what I was saying like in that scene, I never felt respected. So it was like just a matter of time before I like told myself
I
like
feel the same
I need
way.
to get the fuck out of this like
Yeah, I felt the same
Scene.
way.
That
There's
is
a
fucked
DJ in LA.
it's weird
that-
because I just see you now and to see the circle of like DJs that are in your circle now. To me, they're the top DJs in LA. So I just assume that they
Nah,
they
bro.
embraced you. You
There
know,
were-
like 'cause when I think of them, like Dre Sinatra, Bad, Night Train,
Butch.
all these Butch,
Yeah.
all of these DJs that kill it. and they're
respect
in
to
the,
all
in
of
the
them.
clubs. You know,
Yeah, respect to all of them. They all like saw me come up. They've seen the journey. They've
Yeah.
seen the progress. Like, and they never like made me feel disrespected or like inapt or unscaled. Like they never made me feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
feel like those DJs are so good too. It's like it's hard to get into that scene because they just got it on lock. And they're
Yeah.
Well, not only that,
and they're
but-
not going anywhere.
And
No,
they've been
but-
doing it for more than a decade.
Yeah,
Like,
and they're not going anywhere.
Absolutely
So it's
not.
like hard for new blood to like kind of re-enter that.
But
that's
that's
also
scene,
why I
you know?
left.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's the reason why I came over here because there was no type
There's no
of
room.
camaraderie of let me help this DJ out, let him be my opener, and then let him
Exactly.
rise up. There's none of that. Like there was nobody like you. The way you and Neva took me in, and Eddie Mack, the way you guys took me in and kind of groomed me to become the DJ I am today. There's nothing of that in LA.
Yeah.
There's really nothing like that.
You know where I see that going on though? I see like the Bay.
I mean, the Bay is different.
There's really a great community of DJs in the Bay.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the OGs that are like looking out for the newcoming
that is
DJs.
very
Yeah.
true.
That and
yes.
They intermingle, they hang out. There's a respect.
It's
And
not clicky.
It's
like-
not clicky. It's
Yeah.
very open, and to no surprise, that scene is growing
most-
and it's thriving bigger
Absolutely.
because the DJs are working together.
But it's also growing. In
You know what I mean?
It's
Like-
growing
Very
and
true.
expanding to other places like in San Diego and in downtown Vegas. When now the Bay Area guys are coming up down here to
right.
downtown Vegas, and then they're going up there, and it's kind of like this trifecta happening.
But you don't even understand like what's really going on in the Bay because
No, I get it.
No. I'm telling you right now, like San Jose and San Francisco did not intermingle like it does now.
Mm-hmm.
It was very separated. It was almost like, yo, we're not going to San Jose, like, and we're not going to San Francisco. I maybe fuck with San Francisco or whatever. But now San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, they're all intermingling.
Literally
And
just
they're-
had this conversation with
Yeah.
Jay Arcade.
It's amazing, like what
Yeah.
Arcade is doing,
Nopa.
what Nopa, even Jay Espinoza, like,
Yeah.
and the way he's just like very open.
Miles
and,
Medina, yeah.
yeah, and even the up and coming DJs like Ivy,
Ivy.
143 Tommy,
Yeah.
all these guys that are coming up. It's just to me, it's that community in the Bay. it's really, I see it and I'm like,
You
wow,
see it and you feel it too. Like I've done a few
It's
events
nice,
with them
it's
all
nice,
together,
yeah.
and you could feel like
No, you see it,
could feel
even in the
friendship,
flyers.
Like yeah,
I just hope
the
they
support.
never they just that never ends, and I hope it grows and it gets
Yeah.
bigger,
Better.
and they treasure that shit. At some point, there something might happen. I hope they like figure it out and be like, yo, we got something good here. Let's not fuck it up for some petty ego shit.
But that's
you know?
been the Bay Area, even with their music. Like they champion themselves and they make themselves.
It
big.
wasn't like that before. You know, it's another tweet that I noticed and I saw. It was like, and I actually
God.
I never see you going off on other DJs.
Mm.
But you actually were like, you were talking about other DJs and how like there's a lack of etiquette from some of maybe the younger gen DJs.
Okay, yeah.
You've had some bad
I
experiences.
just talked about that. Like I think that was just like last week.
Oh yeah, you had some bad experiences.
Plenty, but one in particular that totally stands out. The most recent experience that I had, I was just like, it's just one of those things where it was a lot more challenging at the time because there weren't like a lot of us. Like I feel like when I was coming up, it was like, you know, obviously Charisma. Actually, no, even Charisma. Like I looked up to her. That was my role model. Like that was like my prototype. Like, I wanted to be
Right.
just like her.
Yeah.
You know, but there was like Angie, Leslie,
Lady Shaw.
Lady Shaw, Crystal Ellis, like those were like the main girls that were rotating in these like LA clubs. So there was a handful, but there weren't that many. But you know, I was looking up to like Shorty, Charisma, Tina T, like those female DJs. But I feel like now after breaking that glass ceiling, there's a lot more female DJs, so they're not like experiencing as much of a challenge as we had.
Well, it's
And
like there wasn't a lot of you, so you guys had to stick together.
We had to stick
There was
together.
like strength in numbers.
Yeah,
So
and-
like, and then not only that, because there's so few of you, you guys really respected each other.
We really looked out for
because
each other.
you knew what each one of them were going through, because you were
Exactly.
going through the same, or if not worse, each
Exactly.
of you guys, right?
Exactly.
So you were like, if you made it this far, I gotta respect you because we're in this circle together.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
got to look out for each other, kind of shit. You're not feeling that same camaraderie or respect.
No, absolutely not.
Like now.
And I guess even like with the challenges that we had to go through coming up,
Yeah.
like that makes you who you are as a DJ, right? Like that
Right.
makes your journey what it is. Like again, what I was talking about earlier, like just feeling small in these spaces, like feeling like I wasn't respected, feeling like they were overlooking my talent. Like all those things made me the DJ that I am now. And I know that it's so cliche to say, but like all the time, like say like I fucked up like one night and I was doing really bad. Like motherfuckers gonna let you know. Someone's gonna tell you, hey, you did bad. Either somebody talk shit about you to other promoters, or a promoter will tell you straight up, like, you just didn't like do well tonight, or someone will fucking talk shit about you on Twitter, something. People will like, you're gonna know that you fucked up.
Yeah, you're gonna know you sucked that night.
You know what I mean? Like someone was gonna tell you that you fucking sucked. You know, but like I feel like now, like nobody is letting these DJs know that they're
it's
fucking
fake
up.
now. They don't tell you. They'll be like,
Yeah.
they let you do it, and they'll talk about you behind your back. Be like, yo,
Well,
this-
maybe
And nobody's letting them nobody's letting them know that they suck. No one's letting them know that they're doing it wrong, because like a promoter wouldn't, because they like booking you because you're an influencer. You have like 1 million fucking followers. And I know that's such a watered down topic, but it really is what it is. Like,
But
it's,
that's why. But what you're saying really is that rocking a room is secondary. It's really not that important anymore.
Yeah.
And I've noticed
all,
that.
like-
I've noticed that more in Vegas than anything, because there used to be a music director that's like checking on you and like, yo, you got to rock this. But
Right.
like
Or more energy.
in the past, I would say in the past,
I mean, I feel like it's always been like that. That's nothing
but
new.
it's not. But it's not.
Now, maybe not as bad now as it was back then, but
No,
when I was in New York,
no.
when I was in New York, they used to hire these models or famous actors, sons,
Tabloids.
whatever. They used to come DJ, and it was horrible. But they used to let them DJ because they used to bring people, they used to bring
Sure.
celebrities to the clubs and
But-
actors, models, shit like that.
but you still had to rock a room. There had to be a DJ on the vicinity that could rock a room. I feel like now it doesn't matter. No one's checking on the
No.
room
Dude,
anymore.
they got their own residencies and their own parties. Like,
No, I feel like, I just feel like they know they're going to hit their numbers.
yeah,
And
exactly.
all they care about are the online presence.
the people that are
The people that's there, yeah.
who's attending.
They don't even care if the party is popping at the moment.
Yeah.
They just care about the online presence, the recap videos, and the pictures.
or tagging who was at your
Because
party.
it's almost like a false advertising. It's almost like if my restaurant doesn't have good food, It doesn't matter as long as like
The marketing is on point.
the videos of us making the food and pouring cheese on it.
Oh,
As
yeah.
long as if we keep doing that shit, and then we have like certain influencers that we pay to come in to say the food's dope, doesn't really matter if the food's exceptional.
Yeah, very true.
It's like we're still gonna get these tourists that come in,
Yeah.
and then even if they have a bad experience and they never come back, we'll still get more new.
We're getting more.
Yeah.
It's just be a cycle of
A
new
recycle.
people.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter what the actual experience is sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that what it's kind of sensing a
Kind
little bit of that, right?
Definitely, but like in particular, I guess like little things like this DJ that I played with, he or she just didn't know the transition etiquette, didn't know, like, just was not like, I don't know how to explain this again. Like the whole respect thing. Like if I was
know
opening
exactly
for
what you
you,
mean.
if you were my headliner and I was opening for you, the first thing I'm gonna do when I see you behind me, shake your hand, introduce myself, like all of that shit. Ask you if there's anything you want me to stay off of within the last like 15 minutes that I'm playing. Like
kind of brief them
do you
what's
wanna-
working and stuff.
shit like that. Like, and granted, these conversations are happening fast because I'm still DJing, but just little shit like that.
It's not even etiquette. It's also just being professional.
Yeah,
Be- exactly.
professional.
that's an etiquette.
I was gonna say, even just a hi, my name is whatever.
Yeah.
That shit goes such a long way.
Yeah.
Again, and you guys talked about this in the last episode, even just like staying till like, who cares? Like maybe 10, 15, 30 minutes after your set, stay. Like make friends, listen to their set, whatever the fuck that is. Like that shit does not exist in like, I mean, I'm not saying completely doesn't exist, but it's just like, I don't see it often because I've been playing like parties with a lot of like younger generation DJs. And like, I feel like I'm always the one going out of my way to like, you know, do the whole, like the works. A lot of these younger DJs don't even know how to transition. Like they don't even, that, and I guess that's where etiquette comes in because like, so the recent experience that I had, I'm coming on after this DJ and we had like some issues with like the left CDJ, which might've been broken. I don't know, but I was like, it's cool. I'll go on internal and you could switch on to the other side and I'll come in on the right deck or whatever works for you.
Right.
DJ didn't understand what I was saying because the DJ had a roadie who was helping him or her set up, but that roadie was also just as young. It was just a homie. Didn't know what I was talking about either. Didn't understand anything. And I was like, okay, you know what? Just get off. I'll get on the mic and then we can like do a little quick switcheroo or some shit. I'm a plug in or whatever.
Yeah.
There was only one USB, but we were on an S11. Oh my God. So we finally got shit to work after I'm on the mic, right? My Serato reads.
Why would you have all these issues on an S11 though? Right.
You didn't just have one.
It was a
USB cord?
CDJ. It was a CDJ. It wasn't the mixer. That's why I was like, I'm gonna go on internal until we figure the whole situation out with both CDJs.
Right.
But I didn't. You know, worst comes to worst, you don't need both CDJs, right? You just need one working deck, whatever. Tell me why, as I plug into Serato and I already did you can only talk on a mic for so long until people fucking realize that there's no music playing. Get some shit rolling. You know what I mean? I get that shit to work. It's reading the music, the signal, whatever. This DJ is starting to like break down, like folding, you know, his or her charger, putting his or her stuff away.
Yeah.
This DJ plugs the USB out of my laptop as the first song is playing, like after the
Why?
first 5 seconds.
Just not knowing.
Not just so unaware. And that's the key word. It's like unaware. So I'm gonna touch on that later. Pause. So as the music goes out, I'm literally like, wait, I was like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And again, unaware. He or she was still like rolling up the USB.
Right.
And for one, I was like, that's the in-house USB. Like, what are you doing? Unaware. I'm not sure. Are they drunk? Are they whatever the fuck it was? Had no idea that he or she had just pulled the main USB from my laptop and that the reason the music stopped was because of him or her. Didn't understand, right? Sound guy finally comes. I didn't even know this fucking venue had a sound guy. He finally comes, saves the day, or not saves the day, but brings me another fucking USB. And I'm like, wait, did you know? I play the first song, we get that shit rolling. I'm like, I look at him or her and I'm like, did you know that you plugged the main USB and that the reason the music stopped was because of you? She or he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And I'm like, how do you not know
That's
that?
definitely not a he.
That's not a he.
And then he or she turns around and asks his or her roadie, did you know that? Because that was one of those things where like you've probably never had to set up on your own, so your first reaction was to blame whoever was supposed to set you up, who didn't get you set up.
That sounds
the right
weird
way.
though. That sounds.
I had a similar situation.
And again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I could easily tell you like after this night, I wish I could just like easily DM you and tell you like from a maybe a mentor point of view, like. You cannot, you got to learn how to like work your shit, know your equipment, know your gear, and have like etiquette when you show up to these places. That shit gets you along, like takes you a long way. But I can't, because the younger generation will see that shit as like, no, bitch, you're just a hater. Like, I'm fine. You know what I mean? And
I think you can do that.
That's what I mean by no. So back then when I was coming up, if me and my, like fellow female DJs were doing that with each other, genuinely, you're looking out for each other. But like the culture now is very like,
if you correct somebody,
you're a hater.
You're a hater.
You're a hater. And because
because this new generation has a problem with accountability too, as well.
Accountability is our key word, right?
Yeah. Oh,
that and just like
spicy.
No, that and just like because I'm older, I'm like don't want to come off as like I'm scolding you or I'm like bitter and like. You know what I mean? It's easy to mistranslate what I'm trying to do.
I think there's a way to do it.
So what I did
think you
was,
could do it. I think.
What she did? What'd you do?
I thought it'd be a smarter idea to get someone who knows you and who might have been mentoring you to help you out with something like that. And I did. I talked to this person and I said, hey, he or she might be more receptive to receiving this information from you. So you should tell him or her exactly what happened that night and she can learn from it. It's really that fucking easy. And I'm like, you cannot keep letting these like situations, you just cannot keep, and the only way you learn is if someone tells you fucked up, which goes back to what I meant with like, if you fuck up back then, motherfuckers gonna let you know. And you had to learn. Like all the fucking times I've like cried after a gig because I'm like, damn, I feel fucking stupid. I can't believe I didn't know how to switch from this fucking shit to that shit. I didn't know how to use this fucking mixer. I should have been at Guitar Center practicing. You know what I mean? Like little shit like that. But like even as far as like etiquette goes, like there's no such thing as like fucking like it's introducing yourself, like shaking hands, like even like tagging the people that you're on a lineup with. Like, why is that such a big deal? Like posting a flyer that you're on with other DJs, you'd rather post just yourself and say I'm playing here.
I actually see that a lot.
I see that a lot.
You know what I mean?
What do you mean? What are you talking
New
about?
DJs don't like, they don't do that shit no more.
It's like, say if it's on the DJ's opening for someone, that instead of posting that opener, they just post themselves. Oh, you could check me out at so and so venue.
No, not even that. Like if I'm DJing with all three of you guys, I would tag each one of you guys. A lot of DJs are not doing that. They're just putting up the flyer.
Say that there's two rooms
no cross
in one
promotion.
club. Yeah, the DJ would just post them being in. They won't post the guest DJ or someone that's DJing.
You're saying they won't tag them or they won't post them?
They won't tag them.
One or the other or both.
Yeah,
and again,
both.
Why is that fucked up?
It doesn't. See, here's the thing. It probably doesn't sound like a big deal.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't sound like probably doesn't sound like a big deal. But like, maybe it isn't a big deal. But if you do it, it makes a difference. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, say even something as like small as like, if I'm at a gig and the opener fucking killed it, I would love to give you your flowers. I'm going to post you and let people know about you if nobody knows about you. This fucking guy killed it. This opener fucking like set the right vibe. Like shit like that. If I'm playing with other DJs on this night, every single one of you is going to get tagged on a flyer and people are going to know that you guys are playing this party too. I'm not just posting myself like, hey, I'm playing at this spot, but I see that happen so much. I'll literally be on a lineup with like 4 other DJs and like they're all just out for themselves.
Yeah,
and I think that's like the one thing that like a pattern that I'm just seeing so much in like the younger generation. They're just all out for self. Nobody is out to like help each other out or like big each other up or like, set each other up to win together.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean? Even
like tagging somebody, Kirk, you might not think that's a big deal, but it's a form of communication where you and the opener or anybody else in that lineup can talk. And if you don't know each other, that's an easy way to transition into speaking to each other. Hey, what are you playing? What do you, where I can stay away from? Like, There's a form of
No, I
communication.
mean, I understand it. Like, I always try to do it when I'm part of like a lineup, or
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if the opener is like, if I know who the opener is, like I'll try to tag them. But like, I wouldn't give a shit if no one tagged me in a fucking flyer that they posted. Like, I wouldn't care.
That's what I'm saying. But
And
it's
I
not
also
a big
understand
deal.
if a younger DJ and opener at a venue who maybe they were opening for me made themselves a flyer,
Yeah.
and they posted that flyer and they said I'm here tonight and they don't mention me, I wouldn't give a fuck either, because I kind of understand what they're trying to do is create this optics that they are a headliner and they're not just under somebody, if that makes any sense.
But do you think that's bad etiquette or good etiquette?
No, I just think it really comes down to desperation.
It actually depends on how you feel, because like you said, I don't give a fuck.
No.
But then again, it's kind of disrespectful.
It's
just
disrespectful,
they're going for themselves.
But what it comes down to is desperation.
I don't give a fuck.
It's all about desperation. Is that they're desperate to make a name for themselves.
Yeah. So
They're desperate to
Exactly.
get bigger. They
Look like
think,
they're like the headliner themselves.
well, no, they think this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Because they're tired and they're desperate, so they're like, this is what I have to do. And it's like, well, sometimes it just takes longer to do things, but I'm just like, yo, I get it, because I've been in those situations before where I maybe did a private event at one club and I wasn't a resident at that one club, but I'm like, hey, the fact that I DJ'd there, I'm gonna put it down on my resume that I spun at that club.
That's different, Chris.
You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm saying that it's really about, like, I get what motherfuckers have to do to make money. You know what I'm saying? Or like to get their name out there. But what you're saying is different. It's like completely different.
I don't give a shit either. Like you said, it doesn't affect me. I'm still playing. I'm still getting my money.
For sure.
My thing is just like, it does leave a bad taste in my mouth, because if I want to support you and I'm tagging you and everything and I'm posting stories about you, but you want to make it look so much like this show was just you, nobody else existed at this club but you, because you're just out for self. Yeah, it doesn't affect me, but it does leave a bad taste in my mouth. And I'll probably never talk to you. I'll probably never work with you again. If they ask me who do I want to open for me, I'll probably be like, well, maybe try someone else. Because if you weren't looking out for everybody else that worked to make that night pop, I'm not going to do the same.
I don't take it to that extreme, but I just put up like boundaries. I'll be like, all right, I'm not going to make myself as accessible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're going to move this way, I don't take anything personal now, because for me, whenever someone does anything shady or fucked up or whatever, I'm like, yo, they must really need this money, or they must be really in a tight squeeze, or they're desperate or something.
Yeah,
so
but
for me, I'm just kind of like, yo, I get it. I'm just not going to make myself accessible to that shit as much.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to judge you. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to work with a motherfucker again. I'm just going to be like, yo, I know how you are.
You know what to expect.
I know what to expect. So I'm not going to act like, yo, like, I can't believe this motherfucker did it again. Like, nah, you're that type of motherfucker. So I'm just going to stay away.
Well, that's the same shit
I'm
you
just
just
gonna
said.
be like, yeah.
That's the same
I'm
thing.
just
But
gonna
I'm not going to do that shit where I'm like, yo, like, I'm not going to work with you again. I'll work with you again. I just know how you move. I just know exactly what to expect.
It's just little things, like you can tell, like your first impression to someone, like you carry that with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, say like that happened between you and I. Now the second time I see you, I'm gonna be like, nah, like you left a bad taste in my mouth. Like I don't really, you know what I mean?
So if I came in and I tried to hug you, hello, you're gonna be like, nah,
No,
chill.
I mean, I'll be high, but it'll be one of those things where it's like, if I'm putting a fucking lineup together for my party, I'll probably skip you. Cause then if you post my party, you're not gonna post the rest of the people on the lineup. You're just posting
Really?
yourself.
You wouldn't book someone just because they didn't tag you on a lineup?
See, when you make it sound like that, it sounds so minuscule. Like you're making it sound
crazy.
I must not know, right? I must not know.
So
No, you're making it sound crazy because it's a handful.
It sounded a little crazy, right?
No,
I
guess
can understand
my
what you're
point-
saying.
It's a handful of things, and it's not tagging.
It's not that crazy.
The overboard thing she's saying.
Again, when I use those examples, I kept saying something as small as, right? But
Right,
those
right.
small things, like those small things say something about you. Again, like these are small things. Again, like when I said, why introduce yourself to the other DJs? These are small things, but they say something about you, don't they?
It's the same thing, Kirk. When we would go out and we've gone out with a few people, and you take care of the dinner, you take care of certain things, and they just act like it's a normal shit. and you feel away. It's the same thing.
No, I think that's completely different.
No, it's just kind of
because I'm
the same,
actually losing money with that shit. Like I'm
mean,
not losing no money not getting tagged.
People move differently.
Yeah, people move, but then you adapt, and you're like, yo, I'm not eating with this motherfucker ever again.
If I'm doing a party with someone and opening DJ name is on the flyer, I'm gonna put their name. I'm gonna tag them.
Just out of respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
even if I don't know them, I'm gonna tag them like, yo. So
I've been the opener at certain spots out here in Vegas. I'll text them. I'm like, yo, what do you want me to stay away from? Kind of like,
That's great.
like I'm trying to figure out how you move, for I know how to move around you.
Yeah.
And it's not in a bad way how you move, but how you're DJing. And then when they get there, I make sure there's 2 USBs. Make sure there's a laptop ready stand for you, things like that.
Yeah,
That's
you're being
the etiquette.
professional. Yeah.
But if someone,
But we're
doesn't-
talking about tagging on a fly.
no, but she's saying that's
Just an example.
Oh,
Maybe
you're making that minuscule so big. Right
Oh,
now.
okay. I thought there was like
No,
that was
but she said-
that was another
Like,
issue.
No, like you thought I was about to start a fight because a motherfucker didn't tag me.
She's adding to the list of that, like the little things.
Just the list of the
So-
little things that
Yeah,
factor in your first
so on
impression
top of them
someone.
not being professional, they also didn't tag motherfuckers. Other
They're not
people.
On top of
socially
them-
professional on
Yeah.
social media.
Oh yeah.
or they're just not. I guess.
Yeah, that
say,
sounds like a terrible person.
No, it just sounds like a self person.
Say another thing. How about like if you're a resident DJ? If I'm a resident DJ somewhere, I automatically feel like I play a part in hospitality.
Yeah, you do.
So again, if I'm opening for somebody, I do the whole fucking works. Like, you need anything, you need me to stay away from anything, I'm gonna set you up, all this shit, all of those things.
Yeah.
Like hospitality, you play a part in hospitality, right?
Sure.
So like those are the things that I'm talking about.
No,
Like,
I agree.
Shit
I agree.
that factors in your first impression of someone. And then if you don't do any of those things, then you have poor etiquette. That's all it is.
No, I get it.
Like, I'm saying etiquette exists in the DJ booth as well, and outside
It
of
has
the DJ
to.
booth,
It has
and on social media. Like, there's such thing as DJ etiquette, and I feel like it's just so lost on like the younger generation of DJs. That's like all I'm trying to.
Yeah,
Get at.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. I agree with that. No, I thought I was
stuck on
getting
the-
lost in the tag shit.
No,
I was
yeah.
just like, you know.
Maybe it was a bad example.
Yeah.
Because you hate social media, so maybe it was a
No,
bad
no,
example.
because
He doesn't
sometimes
hate
I
it.
get busy and I'm like, let me post this shit, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to tag all
Yeah,
these people,
yeah.
so I just post the shit.
Nah, but you're better than that though. You're really diligent about showing people around your appreciation, shouting people out.
No, we're all DJs. We're all hypercritical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like we beat ourselves up more than anything.
That's what you think. I'm telling you, the younger generation DJs, they
They
not
don't
give
care.
fuck
They
don't give a
shit.
fuck. They don't
Like,
give a
all
fuck.
I kept thinking about from that recent experience that I had, because I've had plenty, but like that most recent one was I just kept thinking, I just feel so bad that this DJ is gonna go home and nothing changes.
Yeah, I
like,
had the same
like he or she is not gonna go home and be like, what did I do wrong? Let me Google it, let me YouTube it and see what the fuck I did. Something, anything. Like, they're not gonna learn. That's all I was worried about. Like,
They're gonna be like, oh,
want
well,
them.
fuck it.
I just want them to be better. I want them to
Yeah.
know more,
Yeah.
so they could become better. That's literally all it was.
Yeah, I had the same
You know?
situation. I had to do a private event, and I was booked out for the night to do that private event at a certain venue, but that venue already had a DJ. So I show up, and he's setting up. I'm like, that tough conversation, like, oh, I don't think you're DJing tonight. And then he was like, well, I got a DJ because the venue needs to see if I can get paid. I drove all this way. And I was like, yo, do an hour. Do an hour. I want them to see that you DJ. And he was like, all right, cool. And I'm like, if you want, I'll go first and you end the night because you know how to close this venue. I'll let you do the 1 to 2 a.m. slot. He's like, all right, cool. I'm like, you usually do this whole night by yourself? He's like, no, it's other DJs. So I assumed this person knows how to switch over. So when it was time to switch over, he did the same thing. He unplugged my laptop. The music stops.
How do you not?
And
know
then I'm
that's
like,
the wrong
and we're in
thing
a
to
controller.
do?
We're in a controller. There's 2 USBs. So all you gotta do is click, click. That's all you gotta really do.
Yeah.
He doesn't do this. He unplugs my laptop. Music goes out. And then I'm like, yo, play something. Like, what are you doing? Like, just play something. I just need you to play. I don't need silence. It's a private event. I got flown out for this shit and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you're gonna ruin this shit. I'm letting you get your cheese off, but you're fucking up right now.
So wait a minute. I got a question. So you said you were supposed to do the party by yourself.
Yeah.
Did you talk to the guy that booked you and let him know
but
what was going on?
But because he was he got booked as well.
But the guy that booked you didn't talk to him and be like, yo, I'm supposed to do this by
No,
myself.
yeah, we did. We spoke. He's like, well, if you want to let him do an hour, let him do an hour, but you're booked out for this time frame. And I was like, yeah, I'll let him rock for a bit. But so the music goes out, and then he's like, hold on, I got to drop my intro. And I was like,
Stop. Not the
I'd be-
fucking intro.
I would be enjoying myself so much.
DJ, blah, 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 blah.
I would love it.
Right?
I love and hate with intro.
And then I'm like, okay, what are you playing after this big ass intro? And it was like the slowest song. I can't remember the song. It was like the slowest song. And I'm like, oh man. I was like, and then his mixing wasn't good. And I was like, I'm like, previously I had asked him, how long you been DJing? He's like, since I was 12 and I'm 30 now.
It's crazy.
So I'm like, you're not beat matching. You don't even know how to switch over.
So were you panicking?
I had to panic.
Really? I'd be at the bar.
I panicked because
I'd be at the bar like so they can't find me.
no.
Because you want them, you want whoever's
them to
booking,
panic.
you want them to panic and be like, yo,
Yeah.
go back on.
The thing was like,
I'm not doing shit.
I didn't want, because the relationship I had with the person that booked me for this event, I couldn't let that shit just die. Like
but it's not your fault.
It's not my fault, but out of respect to
Next
save the
time,
night,
what would you do next time? You go to the bar.
I don't even drink. I'm just gonna take a piss. I guess
You go to the bar and you take a look. And
I kind of did the same thing. After I heard him mix 2 to 3 songs, I'm like, okay, let's hope he gets through this. They had an open taco stand, so I went to the taco stand.
There you go.
But still, like it rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, you can't claim you DJ for 12 years. You don't know how to switch over. You drop an intro. Like, these people are not here for you. Like, these people are here because there's a party and we got booked out and you just happen to be here.
Oh, you know what this all may be a problem of? This is like main character syndrome.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Bro, he dropped
Yes.
the intro.
That's what this is.
Yes.
Main character syndrome.
And that has everything to do with etiquette. You're selfish
Right.
because you want to be the main character.
Yeah.
You're
So
like,
you're out for self.
you're not even a co-star in their movie.
No.
Right.
They don't even. They
You're
don't
an
want.
extra.
They don't
You're
want the
an extra.
Not even an
Not
extra.
even an extra. You're behind the scenes because they don't want anyone else to know about you.
You're the assistant to the director.
I had an opening DJ play his intro before I got on.
That's the craziest
You was there.
shit.
We was actually DJ together.
And yeah, and then I got escorted out
That's what I'm saying.
because
But
I went to the DJ afterwards and I said, "Yo, like
That's not
I did
etiquette.
exactly what you didn't do. I went to them and I said, "Look, like, yo, moving forward, like, yo, you gotta be careful about playing an intro before a headliner, bro.
Yo.
Like, and I told him, and I was talking to him, and then somehow he texted management to get me kicked out of the fucking club,
No way.
right?
yeah.
Yo, playing an intro as an opener
I got
DJ
kicked. I
is
was a
fucking
headliner,
nasty.
and I got kicked out.
Did
of
you
the-
still get paid?
They escorted us out, right?
Did they know him personally?
Or no, they were like,
No, you didn't get escorted out, but the next day the manager called us and asked us what happened.
our management.
Yeah, exactly.
And they said, like, you know, Crooked was drunk and he was berating the opener.
You didn't get kicked out though, but
They tried to kick us out, fam.
but they
Security
didn't kick us out though.
Yeah.
But
Was
they
the
tried
DJ
to.
like the manager's nephew or some shit?
No, but he was just a resident.
He was a
He's
resident.
like best friends with all the staff, so he can create any narrative or scenario.
He put some
he
extras
wants.
in there for sure.
I know there was a time period in like 2017, 18 where there's no music directors and these openers were going rogue.
They were the fucking
Oh my
music.
God.
They were going rogue here in
Yeah.
Vegas. They were creating all types of scenarios and narratives for themselves.
Yeah.
Because they want to move towards this headline position. So they were just trying to prove as much as possible that
They deserve to be there.
they deserve to be there and they're like, you shouldn't waste your time with these headliners or whatever
my
like that.
God.
So there were all these crazy narratives being made. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
And
See-
you know, the problem with me is I don't know how to shut the fuck up.
Well, you don't know.
Now you do.
It's the Scorpio in
Yeah.
you that you just very emotional. You show
No, he
emotion.
don't.
Now you do.
No,
Stop
no,
bringing up
don't.
astrology, man.
You're the Scorpio in you.
Stop bringing up
You're very-
astrology.
You're very Drake of you. You know. So it's
But see,
okay.
don't all those things like align with etiquette?
That is
So
etiquette.
when I talk about etiquette, I just mean the umbrella and everything that falls underneath that. Like even like something as like it's so fucking overused. It's such an overused topic in our world, but like an opening set, it's so overused. But that's etiquette too.
Yeah.
But the younger generation, they don't understand and they don't care. If you don't care, you're not going to learn anything new. If you're ignorant to it, you don't care about shit. You know what I'm saying? So like these younger DJs, like if they play an opening set and it's just bangers back to back,
Yeah.
and you try and step in and be like, yo, can you like maybe like
Stay off.
or not even just like keep it like vibey and cool, but like don't go hard.
You should teach.
No, you know what you got to do?
No.
You got to get them off. You're like, you know what? It's time. I'm getting on right now.
Yeah.
I got to get off.
It's
No, I was
time
gonna
to go, Buster.
Then if you do that, then the whole like, you know, the other 50%
That's their
of
problem.
DJs that say, you know how like this fucking argument on Twitter happens every fucking at least once a year, and it's always 50-50. It's always the DJs that are like, yeah, keep the fucking art of opening alive. Like absolutely, and I agree. Purist when it comes to that shit. And then the other 50 is like, nah, if you can really rock shit, you don't mind, you shouldn't care if like they're playing all fucking 10 bangers back to back to back to back. And that
You're not a real
50%,
DJ.
those are the fucking DJs that the younger generations are probably fucking listening to. Because if I told one DJ that was opening for me that played like fucking like Pound Town, Ski, Fuck You Me back to back, and I tell him, yo, why'd you just do that? Which I wouldn't, but like ideally I wish I could. But if I did, they'd be like, nah, like if you're fucking dope, like you say, like people say you are, like do your thing. And I agree, but it's just like what I said earlier, I just want to teach them that there's etiquette, because
Right.
you cannot be better if you do not have etiquette.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You know, it's another thing that comes up is like there's so much music.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
Yo, like the headliner should be able to play all the music, but then the opener should be able to play all that music too. There's just so much music.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you don't know what's gonna work,
Yeah.
what's not gonna work.
But you know what? If there ever was a time where like it was easiest to bounce back from getting burned, it's now.
It is.
Yeah.
Like now is the time to get burned. Like if a DJ wanted to play ski and all of this shit, I'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
I'd rather play all the old shit because the old
Yeah.
shit's gonna hit hard.
Absolutely.
Way
So like,
better.
if there ever was a time for openers to burn the shit out of the headliners,
Do it now.
Take
now,
advantage.
now is the fucking time for y'all to do that shit. Because
So whoever opens up for Crooked,
This
fair
is
game.
absolute fucking facts. Like if you open up
any
your
other
set as a headliner,
any other period would be fucking
Exactly.
hard as fuck. Pause.
Exactly.
But like now is like I'm actually like, yo, whatever the fuck. Like
until
Yeah.
further
an opener
notice.
can do whatever the fuck they want right
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
this just happened to me. You know, again, typically I'd be like, the opener did back to back like bangers, but I actually felt like they did that because they were just like trying to get it in before I get in the DJ booth. Does that
Right.
make
Ooh,
sense?
spicy.
So I was just like, whatever it was, whatever the reason was, typically I would care. But I didn't even care because I looked around and I'm like, the crowd is a lot fucking older. Like they're gonna go crazier to like a fucking 90s classic than they will to fucking Gunna. So I didn't even care. And sure enough, like the energy of the entire room switched as soon as I got on and just did like 10 minutes, like a 10-minute medley of just like classics, like but like cool classics, like remixes and shit like that. And then I got back into like, you know, some newer shit. But again, like typically I would care. I'd be like, damn, what the fuck? What's wrong with you?
Did you say let's finally get this party started?
That's crazy.
Yo,
That was nuts what
That
happened.
was damn.
that almost went, that's fucking crazy. That
What
almost
happened?
went over
Y'all,
my
y'all
head.
ready for the real DJ? Let's get it started.
Did you
Yo.
cry? Did you cry when you went home that night? Or were you
I probably did.
remember
Like
you
I
told
said,
me
like
at
back
first
then I
you-
used to cry all the
here's-
time after my sets, like or after the club. Like there definitely have been a handful of times when I would cry just because I would feel like,
Really? Yeah.
yeah, I just always felt disrespected. Like,
Oh no, LA
And
was
I- and I-
brutal, bro.
and,
Like, you
and
don't
it's not
get
like
it.
you could speak out because even if you did, who's going to be on your side? Nobody, because you're new, you're an opener, and you're a female DJ.
You kind
Like,
of blackballed and kind of like dismiss after that. If you really like fight against the power that's being, you'll get like, oh, don't fuck with that.
And again, even now with the culture, right? Like you say or do one thing and put it out there, and everybody's going to back you.
So Bella, like during the pandemic, everybody was going through a lot of shit.
Right.
And I remember me and you used to talk about therapy and shit like that. So I want to know, have you been doing therapy? Have you been doing therapy since then?
Have I been seeing a therapist?
Yeah.
I stopped about 2 months ago, but I was seeing one regularly, and it made a huge difference, especially during the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic. And again, like we talk about how like probably seems like I share a lot just because I'm on social media a lot, but my personal life is still very fucking personal.
Private.
Sure.
Like
So
no
so-
one knows anything personal about me other than what I allow them to see.
So you was doing therapy during the pandemic. That was the first time you was doing it? Or?
First time I did it was during the pandemic, like maybe a year after the pandemic, or
Okay.
a year
Yeah,
into the pandemic.
Around that time, though.
Yeah, and I continued to see one even after the pandemic, and I stopped maybe a couple months ago.
What'd you get out of it? Or what'd you get from it?
Just everything. Like again, like when I tell someone that I'm more comfortable talking to a stranger because I feel like I can get away from like something like talking to your friends and your friends just over giving you advice and them not like understanding your feelings and your point of view.
Yeah.
So like I stay away from that, but I don't mind talking to a therapist about it because obviously their perspective is not biased. And if you're looking at it from an outsider looking in, like it's easier to like get a scope of like what's really going on, right? But if you're talking to someone that's in your circle and they see it, they have like biased judgment or they have like, you know, biased perspective in my opinion, you know? But one thing I did realize is I had to switch to a therapist that was Asian as opposed to a therapist that was like brought up in like Western culture. It made a huge difference for me because everything that I talked about that was like family related or like childhood related or trauma related. Like the first therapist that I was seeing that was a Western therapist was not understanding where I was coming from. Everything that they would, you know, return back to me was just like, this just doesn't make sense in my lifestyle or this just doesn't make sense in my culture or in my family, my standards or values. Yeah. So I switched to an Asian therapist and it's been great since. I've been seeing the same therapist since.
So
That's good.
yeah,
It's really good.
I obviously completely, totally recommend it to anybody. Like I've always been so against that. Again, being brought up in an Asian culture, like I think Mexicans are the same,
No,
right?
we're kind of close. Filipinos and Mexicans are.
I think
Yeah.
almost every race is the same. Every
No,
race-
No, not
No,
the
bro.
Western culture, not at all.
No,
like,
I mean, like black families aren't into it either.
kind
Like,
of, exactly.
You know,
Like they, you know,
there's certain white families that aren't into it. You know, It's just-
yeah.
but it's kind of taboo.
It's a lot of black families that's not into
It's kind of
Yeah.
taboo in the Mexican and Filipino culture.
Filipino,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, like we're very close. I mean, there's history to it, but there's a lot of things that are very alike in those two cultures. Like,
Absolutely.
more than you can think of.
Like if you tell like one of your titas or titos that you're seeing a therapist, they'll probably be like,
You're crazy.
"You're crazy" or something. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
you don't need that. Get over it.
Yeah, it's
Why are you crying about that? There's worse things in the world.
They call it an American disease. Like anything that has to do with anxiety, like trauma, depression. These are all like American diseases.
Oh no, and it's
you know?
that's a privilege in a lot of these two households.
Exactly.
Like we didn't have time to feel anxiety and depression because we had to go to work. So get over your shit.
Yeah, and you don't process that until you're a full blown adult. Like just like looking back at things and processing why you react to certain things this way or why you still feel this way about all of those things. That does not. It doesn't, you don't even see it or feel it till like you're a full blown adult. And I'm not even saying I'm a full blown adult. Like I feel like I still got a lot of shit that I need to fucking understand. But like therapy helps you with that. And again, you got to find the fucking right therapist. Like when I switched to an Asian therapist, everything changed.
I never
'Cause
thought about that.
yeah, you should. Because I thought I was crazy when I was like just disagreeing with the first therapist that I saw. I was like, no. And then I was like, is this why I'm a problem? Because I'm not agreeing with anything that they're saying.
How long did it take you to realize that you needed to switch therapists?
Like a few sessions. It wasn't like months. It was like a few sessions when I realized like if I'm bringing up things that have to do with like childhood or just like family stuff, they're just not understanding any of it.
Yeah, because
So,
never
a
like
few
you
sessions.
stopped immediately.
I did, yeah.
He didn't even.
I remember us talking about this.
I wasn't happy with my therapist.
But I was like, you're not gonna click with everyone. The first people you meet, like you have to like shop around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't even want to shop.
You know what? Actually, and it's funny now. I'm considering going back and
You should.
find
I mean,
a
if you
good
feel
one.
it,
Yeah.
I'm not saying everything is bad, but I feel like it's good to talk to someone outside of your family and friends that don't really know you, but
Exactly.
you feel like you can open up more to them than to
because we're
anyone
gonna be
else.
biased.
Exactly, yeah.
See?
But and maybe take your advice and find an African American one for yourself who can understand you better. Don't fucking
actually-
laugh,
actually,
asshole.
He
Don't
had
laugh.
the African
I
American
had
one.
an African American one. Wait, I wasn't happy with her. It's funny because after I told her, I'm a DJ and DJ in Vegas, she was like more interested in my career than
Do you mean famous
what I
people?
was.
She's like, oh, you can get me on the list.
Yeah, she's like, I know you get.
What's
I know
the
you meet-
password
I know
to
you meet
Bella's
I know you
party?
meet a lot of celebrities, this and that, and I'm just like, oh, come on, man.
Hey, what if there's like therapists that specialize in like people in the music industry?
That's
There's
that's
one that
one too.
specializes
That's
in
a good-
everything. So you just gotta like find them.
You just
I know,
gotta
yeah.
find one that you click with, because
Yeah,
usually,
no,
like
yeah.
if you click with a therapist by the second session, the first one's always a little weird, but the second or third, you're like, oh shit, like they usually like reveal or give you a little nugget of something.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
That kind of just changes your whole perspective on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the one I was referenced was by another DJ, and it helped me out a lot.
That's good.
So yeah, I mean, there's one for everything.
Yeah, but you gotta be open to it. I think maybe the first time you did it, you weren't open to it.
I wasn't at all.
You gotta really.
Now I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing on social media like a lot of black celebrities or whatever. They talk about how like being black and growing up, it was like taboo to see a therapist. It was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
sure.
so now I'm seeing people are more open to seeing therapists now. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yo, maybe it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing about the pandemic. Like, you know how everyone like they maybe did something positive during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I started working out, or I did the Twitch stream, or I did that. The one thing I took advantage of during the pandemic was therapy.
Good.
And I think that just completely changed. It made me more self-aware of shit. It made me,
And it's not a
you
bad
know.
thing because when you first told me about it, I was kind of offended. I'm like,
Oh no,
fuck
he
it, man,
took.
I don't need no fucking
The
therapist.
crazier part,
I'm good.
the crazier part, we did it live on the podcast and we just didn't air that part out.
We recorded an episode of me talking with him, like, oh, yo, like I'm gonna get you some
For his
therapy.
birthday.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I don't really.
I was
need therapy.
caught off guard. I'm like, I don't need.
And
this
we were
shit.
like fighting.
Yeah.
We were like arguing, and we had to
shit.
edit it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was like really heated. It was like 45 minutes. We were arguing.
I felt like it was disrespectful. It's like, yo, how you gonna do this?
Yeah,
to
how
me?
you gonna call
And
me
How you gonna call
crazy?
me out on a fucking podcast? What's wrong with you?
See,
But it was-
that's the old school way to
exactly
to
old school
perceive-
mentality. Exactly.
to
And
perceive
it was
therapy,
just Cricket being like, yo, I'm gonna.
And it was
get-
like I looked at it differently now. Now I see it different. I'm like, yo, he's just trying to like look out for me, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I thought that like he was like fucking trying to diss
and
me.
I
or
think it
something.
was. I think Cricket had offered him like 6 months that you're gonna pay
It was
for
like
his
four
therapy.
months. Yeah.
But you see, now you can cash it in if
I
it's
know,
still
right?
available.
'Cause
Well,
that's-
First of all,
is that
first
still
of all,
available?
you should
I
voucher.
said 1 month, motherfucker.
Oh, 4 sessions.
I didn't say no
Four
6
sessions.
months.
Four sessions.
Four sessions.
4 sessions. I ain't saying 6 months. What do you think of this?
There you go. Use your
And
voucher.
this is during the pandemic.
6 months is fucking expensive.
It's like therapy sugar daddy. I'm just trying to be like, I don't need no I'm not trying to be a sugar daddy therapist.
I can't lie.
therapy's
Somebody did
fucking
that for me.
expensive.
Somebody paid for my first 4 sessions.
Yo, that was such a heated argument.
No, it was crazy.
It was really
Bro, I had to go home with him because I was staying with him, and then he was mad, and then it was his birthday, and then
I remember I was like, yo, for your birthday, I'm gonna get you some sessions. And he was just like, no, I'm good. I don't need that shit.
I
And
took
was
him to
just like,
Grimaldi's after to try to cheer him up, and I bought him. Somebody got you a cake or something like that, and he's like, all I want tonight is to eat a slice of cake for my birthday. I'm like, let's fucking do it.
Do you remember what he said? He said the most old school shit that I ever heard.
What he said?
What?
He said, I like who I am. I don't think I need to change. And I'm like, no one's saying you.
I
We don't
know,
like you,
I don't
bro.
need to change.
Yeah.
You need to change.
He's like, I don't. I
Because
like,
that's how I used to look at it. If someone needs to see a therapist, they have problems. Something's wrong with them. They got
yeah, you're crazy.
it's the funniest thing. I told my moms, right? I was like, yo, like I've been doing therapy. And she was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you like that's good. That's good that you've been doing. I'm like, and we were talking, and I was telling her I'm breaking down some shit, and I said like, yo, if you ever want to go, a therapist, let me know. And she's like, no, I don't need it. I'm
Right.
not crazy. And I was just
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
and I was like, but I'm crazy. She's like, no, but that's good for you.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, crazy.
like,
but
that's
remember
you
that.
might
well,
need
at
it,
least she
but
said
I'm
it's good for you.
She literally said, I don't need it. I'm not crazy.
No,
I'm
I
okay.
had family members that were like,
Actually-
yo, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Yo, your life is good. You're breathing, you're walking. What's wrong with
Yeah.
you?
Actually, if my parents hear this,
Yeah.
this is the first time they're gonna find out that I have been seeing a therapist. My sister
Oh,
knows.
shit.
My sister knows.
Really?
Obviously, all my peers know, but like my parents don't.
Are you afraid of them saying something?
I
Because
think
they're
to
very
them-
supportive of everything you do.
Yeah, I think to them, well, my mom's mentality when she raised me, which is great because I've taken that with me my entire life, has always been if the good outweighs the bad, like do not focus on the bad. But like it's just one of those things where it's like, but
Sounds
the
like my mom.
the bad has affected you in ways that you don't notice until you're in situations where you're like, why did I react to that way?
Right.
And you have to look at it from what happened, like, like just throughout your childhood or your entire life, or how you see things because of how your parents tell you it is. You understand what I'm saying? So like if I tell them that I go to therapy, it's like, but things are so good right now. Like you're
Why?
happy, you're
Yeah.
you're whatever. And also it's like, why are you wasting your money on that? You have us.
Save your money.
Yeah.
You know
Talk
what
to
I mean?
me. It's you're like, yeah, I'm with you.
You know, so that's the only reason I haven't like told my parents. But hey, mom and dad,
Ta-da!
now y'all know.
The sad thing is that people that needed therapy made me get therapy.
Yeah.
Like people, your ghost and your skeleton in the closet and stuff like that. That made your bad trauma made me have bad trauma.
That makes
and
sense.
I told my mom that. I'm like, yo, even my dad. I was like, the reason why I can't show emotion in a relationship is because tough it out. Don't you dare cry. Stuff like that. Now I'm
Be a man.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm different. I'm like, with my girl, I'm fucking shambles if I have to let go of an emotion.
Yeah.
And it's fine and it's okay. But it took fucking 4 sessions to figure that whole trauma shit out, the things that I had to go through as a kid. And you look back, you're like, fuck, I was only 10 years old. Like my niece now is 9, and I look at her and I'm like, damn, at your age, I already went through X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, one of these days we gotta listen to that segment.
Please do like you know how like
It must sound crazy though.
It sounds really bad.
I still have it.
You don't even need to listen to it.
I want to listen to it again.
You can listen to it on your own.
No, we'll listen together.
if you guys have a Patreon,
In a dark room with his whole hand.
I might get mad
my
again.
God.
It was tough because I think
When you turn on the lights, his head's gonna be on my shoulder. I'm gonna be rubbing his bald head.
And it was crazy. It was only us in that room, and I think you had like one of your friends over, Crooked, and they overheard, and they were like, "Nah, he took that shit out of play. Like that shit was nuts." And I was like, "Oh man!" But then I'm like, "Okay, now I got to do damage control because you feel away, and I'm in the middle."
I didn't feel no way. I was just kind of like, wow.
You felt away because he didn't accept what you were trying to offer.
No, that's not what I felt.
Oh.
I understand that therapy shouldn't be forced on anyone.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But I was more kind of taken aback on how upset he was about it, and how I think, like you said, like I'm not crazy. Like that's cool for you.
he wasn't receiving.
But
it
it was almost it was kind of like I ain't crazy. Like I love who I am.
Yeah.
Like, you are.
But maybe you might need that shit, but I don't need it.
I was more frustrated that we weren't connecting on the same page. That he didn't understand what it actually was.
Yeah.
But you know what? It might have been better
Yeah.
if you had told me before we recorded. It was like,
It was a surprise.
I got you to the side. And I'm just like, okay. I would have maybe I wouldn't have reacted the way I did, but
It was like surprise, shorty. I was like,
maybe the
fuck.
mistranslation was just like intention. Like you.
I mean, I see it. I understand now. Whatever.
Yeah.
And not gonna
And
lie,
I appreciate it more now. I'm like, damn, this dude fucking went out his way to fucking
Correct. That
make
was-
sure that your boy's doing good. And I'm like,
I
didn't
can't
look
lie
at way. I
though.
was just like,
That year was really tough on Neva. Like that year, he went through some shit.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't reciprocate because he was in the right headspace. But now you can give him his 4 sessions.
No, I'm
Let's
good.
clap it up.
He's
for
on his
Frank.
own.
he probably got it himself. He probably took it himself. Like, fuck it. He don't want that shit. I do the
That shit
sessions.
expired.
You guys should release that EP on like Patreon as like a bonus EP.
No.
Nah.
I'm just kidding.
I just think,
I'll send
but
it to you.
I do
Neva.
want. I do kind of want to hear it, just to be like,
You can hear it all
Just
you
to
want,
laugh.
man. You got it in your crib. I don't wait to hear that
He's
shit.
on the
though.
Dropbox.
all right. So I think we'll end it. We'll end it here. Bella, it was good to have you back on the podcast.
Yeah. it was
Thank you for coming
Great
through.
to be
Yes.
back.
It's good to be.
It's good to
back.
see you.
Yeah.
It's great to see you guys. Good chatting with y'all.
Yeah.
I know the first one that we did, you guys lost the video footage. Do you
We
remember
lost
that?
some of it. No, and then we found it, and then
Yeah.
we put the YouTube out. later.
Hopefully someone pressed record on this one.
No, it's all good now.
It's on him if it doesn't.
Dude, my sorry, side note, my viewing or listening experience with podcasts truly changed once I started listening to it on YouTube as opposed to just like the podcast.
Yeah, people
app.
like the YouTube shit
like
more.
matching people's reactions, like facial reactions to like what you guys are talking about. I was like, oh shit, I would have received this differently had I just been listening to the audio version.
And that's why when something happens and his facial reaction gives me something, I'll say it on the podcast so people can know, hey,
Yeah.
you got to watch this live.
You guys are all pretty poker face though. And then you just always have a smirk on your face. You
you're
always look like you're about to say
wild
some
shit.
shit. Yeah.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Don't make up these lies.
You have it right now and you
That
literally
little
you're about to talk shit.
the little pop filter just.
I'm listening. I'm enjoying our conversation.
That's
you know?
great.
I'm enjoying it. Thanks for coming through, Bella.
This
It's
was
always a
great.
pleasure.
Thank you
DJ
guys.
Bella Fiasco, ladies and gentlemen.
I appreciate it.
If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.